I bid you all good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins. Welcome to Trends in the Housing Market. I'm using a newer streaming service here, so I'm trying to see if I am getting this thing right. And yeah, there's an awkward silence at the beginning of this video. And so, yeah, I know now when to speak when I get it up and running. So, yeah, sorry about the awkward entrance there. Sorry. I want to start off a little bit early tonight because we have a lot to cover on what's happening in the housing market, of course. There's lots happening in the housing market, and it's a lot of it has linked in with the CV and what's happening with the CV. And here we go. We got people rolling into the comments here. And yeah, here we go. We got people rolling in right now. It's a new streaming service, a new streaming outlet through YouTube that I have never used before. So I'm going to give it a chance tonight, guys. It looks like it's working fine. And that's it. Yeah, everything's out. People are rolling in. Somebody test the comments out. If somebody could please go ahead and throw a comment in there if you can. Somebody, anybody, I don't care who. If someone could throw a comment in there. I'm starting a bit early to test this thing out. Yeah, test, it's working. I guess my comments work. Guys, there's a lot of people being taken advantage of in this housing market. A lot of people are being taken advantage of, and I'm not liking this. I'm actually very disgusted by this. We got Lex 500 in the house, and we'll get to the article in a second here, but I want to go over a bit of channel news for you guys because we have quite a bit in channel news. Okay, guys, I promised I would go over on the YouTube channel that we're going to go over the community discussion, okay? So we got MT in the house, Lex 500 in the house, MT already in the comment section watching live. I want to thank Travis, who's watching this in North Carolina, loves the show. I want to thank Harvey, who's watching this on the Isle of Man in the United Kingdom. And I want to thank Charles, who's watching this in just 2 hours southeast of Dublin, Ireland. Thanks for joining in. Okay, here goes, guys. So here it is, guys. There's quite a few videos I threw up today, and they're very, very crucial videos, and we'll go over the articles. This is a big one. I'm not surprised that it already has almost 500 views in 3 hours ago. The Liberals, they're asking or putting pressure on Liberals for strata fees. Now, strata fees are going up because insurances are going up, and it's really hard to insure a condo or a townhouse right now because the price of these units are astronomically beyond anything anybody could afford. Another one, we'll cover this next one on Mike in the Night on Saturday when we do talking about what's happening with the CV sickness that's going around. I don't want to get this video flagged. CV, it's been 52 times, it's been understated by 52 times. The numbers are all lies from the communist government of China. We knew that already. It doesn't take a person to send rockets to the moon to figure that out. And a lot of people in the markets right now are buying the dips, and they're getting screwed. Morning Coffee with Mike. And, okay, yeah, this is a big one. Australian interest-only mortgages to be stung. This video right here. This is an enormous deal for people living down under. There's several 100,000 interest-only mortgages that are going to be up for, I don't know, for renewal, or they're going to be up for, they got to go on terms now, so that people have to actually pay down their principal. What else? Yeah. So, okay, guys, trends in the housing market. We're up and running. New software, guys, so bear with me. Let me take a sip of this lemon water here. All right, let's go to the community, guys. Whoever voted on this, thanks for voting and being part of the community here and votes. So, let's go way back here. Very simple question, guys. I asked you guys last week. Who is worse off? Who is worse off? That is a very important question. Who is worse off? So in response to my video, I'm leaving Canada, moving back to England, from the email I received from someone that was moving because they've been living in Canada for 30, 40 years and their kids can't get ahead in life. So they've basically are moving back to England. So I decided to start a poll. People are arguing over who is worst off and the best off. So here are the comments here. So here are the results. We have 275 votes. Australia comes in first place with 42%. They are the worst off. They believe that they are the worst off of when it comes to cost of living and all that stuff, and housing and just trying to get a job. Canada is followed by 29%. The British, the United Kingdom is 12%. New Zealanders are 9%, and Americans come in last at 8% as being worst off. So I promised I was going to read a few of these comments for you guys so we could kind of discuss this. This is kind of important because if you're not happy, then it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 26 Gunter saying Australians have it the worst. That's what came in first place at 42%, and I was shocked. I thought it was going to be Canada and Australia really close, but I know in Australia the cost of anything right nowadays is just absolute disastrous. You're looking at disastrous. Okay, all right. So let's see here. I'm just this new kind of layout here. I'm getting used to, guys. So give me a few seconds here, okay? Okay, so Australia is not the country I grew up in the 80s. It's a two-party dictatorship is destroying us. And somebody else says, unfortunately, there's nowhere to go. It's BS everywhere. Then Andres Erickson brings up a really good point saying, the U.S. has a $24 trillion deficit. The principal grows almost 7K per second. And that number only gets higher as the compounded interest on it grows and grows. So that's pretty harsh. For Americans, the amount of debt load. But they're not putting the debt load on the citizens per se by throwing taxes to the moon and charging and privatizing all the water and energy companies and then just jacking up the price like they did in Canada and in Australia and the UK. Australia isn't the same country I grew up in where if you had a chance to get ahead, in my mind, in my mid-30s, with my wife and family, work professional job, making over what used to be an excellent salary, no hope of buying a house, stuck in a rental trap, taxed to the max, $750 a week paid in income tax. Wow, 30% of income directly to the government. That's 4 months of labor for nothing but giving to the government. Wow. Then Diamond says, Australia, super feminist, man-hating country, absolute trash. Then Scotty, the Prime Minister of Australia, is saying, Australia is by far the worst place to be. Then we got Rich weighing in and saying, Australia is a dreadful, feminist-obsessed place, so superficial and no substance. Scratch the surface and look past the sunny weather. It's awful. Okay, so we got the McChronicle in the house, guys. Check out his channel, the McChronicle. He's in the house. He's got a little wrench beside his name if you guys want to go to his channel and subscribe. My comment on your BTFD video is still mint, right? Yeah, it's mint, buddy. It's good. We'll look at it in a second here. Emma says England has less job opportunities and way too many people. So this is a lot. So who's worse off, guys? You could go here to the community and vote. If you guys want to go down as like the 8th or 9th post down from the top. If you guys want to go and vote there, I'm going to give you the thing here in the comments. If you guys wish to, you're more than welcome to. Go in and vote on that, and we'll bring it up again, and I'll read some more fresh comments that come in. It's like 8 or 9 posts down. Who is worse off? I'd like to know. Who do you think is worse off? Australia's first, Canada second, the UK third, New Zealand fourth, and Americans are 5th on the list. We got Metal Gear Mark 3 in the house. 2-time world champion. You go ahead and there and vote if you guys like. Then I did a video today, the BTF fail. Yeah, I think the McChronicle commented on that today too. Where is it? I didn't pin any comments here. I ain't complaining about markets getting killed. It's brought more excitement than a pretty girl at a strip club. Not that I've been lately, laugh out loud. By the way, Platinum, the ultimate recession hedge, has been killed the last 2 days. Buy it with both hands. And there's replies on this. Yeah, S is saying he'll stick with gold. So that's that there. So just kind of want to throw that up there for you guys. Someone's commenting, wait, the market goes down sometimes? I thought it just goes up forever. Woo! Okay, we got Serenity now in the house saying howdy. We got Metal Gear Mark 3 saying, Metal Gear Mark 3 saying Hedo? And, okay, let's look over here, the chat here on Skype. We got Davey Davids 22 watching us from Perth, Australia. Mike, you rock it, man. You are the best. I love your show. Tell it how it is. You know what the deal is when the deal is done. Lots. Okay, guys, so let's move on, guys. Guys, if you want to message me, here we go. Look, tons of messages coming in for me on Facebook. I'll give you guys my Facebook here if you guys need to message me something or send me something or, I don't care, intercept something or drop something off. Just go ahead and do that. Guys, Teespring, I am selling a few things, so we do have a mug that's pinned to the top. It's Trends in the Housing mug if you guys want to support the transmission and buy a mug. And you could also message me on the, what do you call this thing, Instagram, and you could also tip me on PayPal. All right, guys, it is almost 7 o'clock. This is the pre-show. Pre-show. Woo! Pre-show for Trends in the Housing Market. So we got VC from North Vancouver, a member of the channel. We got Freedom Runner. Yes, the CV is in Canada. We'll be covering a lot in-depth CV on Mike in the Night this Saturday night with a ton of call-ins, guys. We're going to get people to call in, especially with flight attendants catching it. 10,000 police have it in China. Guys, that's why I was very, like, a lot of people were like, Mike, why were you so angry in the CV virus video? Look, it looks like they have it under control. This was 3 weeks ago when I was freaking out. Because at the airports, they're just handing out flyers to people in Canada. They're arming them with flyers. Nobody's getting, like, and then, so, you guys could understand why I was feeling very upset about that, the whole CV thing. We got Sephora 6788 from Windsor, Ontario. That is just across the pond from downtown Detroit, Michigan. I-75 highway. Pierre Grosso is asking a very good question. Is there anywhere good still to buy a home in Canada? Everything's severely overvalued in Canada no matter where you go. There should be parts of Canada that you should go to that has infrastructure, roads, and all that stuff that you could buy land for less than 20 grand. Still, there should be in Canada, but there isn't. So a lot of land dwellers or people that want to buy land and build, they're all moving stateside right now. I spoke to a friend. I was so shocked when he told me he was going to move to South Dakota. I was so shocked. He told me I'm moving to South Dakota. I couldn't believe it when he told me that. All right, comments are flowing nicely here. We got VC from North Vancouver. We got Metal World. Happy Wednesday, Mike. Yeah, happy hump day, guys. We got Metal Gear Mark 3. Gonna buy some more canned foods. Guys, pick up canned food. Pick up dry food. Pick up just whatever, man. A lot of that stuff you don't even have to... Like that canned soup, most of the time, if you can't heat it up, you could always put like a lighter under it or some sort of a makeshift little home torch or something. You could just heat up from the can itself if you have to. If you get into really worst case scenario. Oh, wow. VC said, I love my blue Mike in the Night tights so much that I bought the red ones with socks. Everyone comments on my tights and how much they like them. Yeah! That's from VC. No land to buy in Canada? There's tons of land to buy in Canada, but do you want to overpay for land? Right? It's like saying there's no gold to buy, bullion dealers. There's tons of gold to buy. But I think now is a good time to buy before things really, really hit the fan. But guys, remember, you never take my advice on anything. Always pick up your mouse, your keyboard, do your own research. You got a phone, you know. Yeah, you can go campfire style if you have to go with canned food, says the McChronicle. We got Josh T663 messaging me from off of Skype here, saying bought some land 7 hours northwest of Kenora, Ontario, in the middle of nowhere. Paid $6,800 for it, and he says, "Woo." Okay. Yeah, VC says you could get a lot of things like sugar and coffee to trade. You can. I think like easy things to trade would be lighters. Lighters are a big barter. Lighters, salt, just regular salt and pepper is huge when it comes to times of candles, right? All right, everyone looking at the house here. Look at this family looking at the house, looking to lay roots. You know, why is it the Canadian, the Australian, the American dream, the UK dream to own a house? Why? Well, it creates a sense of freedom. It creates a sense of individuality. It creates a sense of owning or carving out your own little piece of land or a little piece of rock that you could say that's yours and you own that and they can't take you out of there type of thing. It's yours, you know? Since the time of the Magna Carta, our human rights have evolved in a positive way. That's basically, even if the King of England wants to come into my house, he needs to ask permission. And that's the feeling of homeownership, your own sanctuary. Someone's asking, what is the blue logo in the chat? I have no idea what you're looking at, guys. I really don't know. Because I'm using a new transmitting system here. And, yeah. McChronicle, that's me, YouTuber, myself. Check me out. Yeah, check out the McChronicle, guys. A 2-time world champion, guys, in the house here. Wow, it doesn't even let me go to his page from this thing anymore. I used to be able to click on the icon and it would let me go to his page. Now it won't even let me do that. Boo! All right. Wow, we got 58 people watching. Thanks for coming in, guys. All right, guys. 7 o'clock, let's get to trends in the housing market. We did a little pre-show here for you guys. Guys, if you want to, I got a lot of people supporting the channel. Go here and join. Click the join button and join the channel. It's not much. And we'll go from there, guys. All right. So let's go to what's happening. Guys, there's one in here. Like, I covered this the other day. Australian mortgages, couple of 100,000 mortgages are sitting on interest only. I covered that. This one's scary. BC Liberals pressure province to help condo owners hit by skyrocketing strata insurance. What do you think is going to happen when condo prices go to $600,000-800,000 for a one-bedroom? No insurance company wants to lay down that much, especially in a falling housing market where accidents may happen and people might want to pay out. I'm not saying anything, just like throwing this out. Okay, Owen's in the house. 7 o'clock. Owen's here, like clockwork here. We got so skill game. My state will ban skill games since they are complaining lotteries, since they are losing money due to skill games. Metal War saying real estate's gonna crash hard in Canada now without China. Oh yeah. It's tough. It's really tough when your lifeline, your economic lifeline, was foreign investing in students, right? But Canada is one of the very few countries that has open flights to China, right across, no questions asked, no debate, right? I'm just very happy that the Chinese government didn't look over to Canada and say, "Hey, can you take some of our sick and maybe help us out?" Because Canada would have said, "Of course we will," and that's what I'm scared of, right? Okay, we got Zephyr6788. You could call into the show, buddy, if you have a story for us. You can add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980, and anyone's welcome to call in. He says, I have a coworker who was looking at a 200,000 three-bedroom home, 2 split level. He was trying to bid for it, and he kept getting overbid, and his own retailer kept egging him on to overbid. Then he says he was up to 280 until he called it quits. Turned out one of the one overbidding him was a construction company buying all the surrounding houses. Oh. That sucks. Big time. And then he goes on to say, and the owner of the owner and the realtor were already going to sell the construction company, but they wanted to see how much someone else would bid. I think it was sold for 310 and it was a dump. Yes. Yeah. Okay, guys. So, BC Liberals pressure province to help condo. Then we got a bunch of better dwelling here we're going to go over. Then we're going to go over this one. This is the story of the night. And we got dodgy money deals, mafia involvement, rent a squatter scam, and murky underworld fire real estate in Spain. So I'm going to tell you guys what's happening. Somebody actually sent me this and told me to cover it on Trends in the Housing Market tonight because they got a really scary story they've shared with us. A very scary story. Scammers make home hunting hazardous for the Bay Area renters. And then we got CV, 700 people in New York under voluntary quarantine after returning from China, right? And this is a big one. I have it open twice. That's how big it is. Ticking time bomb, $3,600 problem for Aussie homeowners. Once these go on terms, a lot of people can't afford. It's over here. I got it broken down here. I got it broken down here for you guys. Where was it? Here it is. Okay, so if the loan size is $1 million, which the average is, they're looking at an extra $789 per month for 30 years. If the loan size is $800,000, so you're looking more in the Melbourne area, you are looking at an extra $630 per month. Woo! So that's a big deal hitting Australia. Interest-only mortgages coming to term, and they have to go on terms to pay down their principal. All right, so let's go to the markets here, guys, and see what's happening. I have the Australian stock market opened because the markets are open for another hour and 57 minutes. Let me refresh that to make sure. Yeah, an hour and closes in an hour and 58 minutes, actually, is the market is going to close. And right now, Australia is down. I think it's for the 5th or 6th day in a row. The ASX 200 is down. Australian dollar is keeping above 65 cent. Oil very dangerously below. It's in the $48 mark. It's down almost $1. It's pushing towards the $45 mark from what I see. Gold is back up again over 1650. I think the threshold was 1630, and I don't think it'll go below that anymore. Bitcoin's taking a kick in the pants. And Australian New Zealand dollar is doing somewhat better at 104. And the New Zealand exchange is down 71 points. And yeah, the FTSE in the UK is barely above water. And we saw the Dow Jones today and everything else. But the Nikkei 225 is down 401 points. So markets are taking a huge tumbling. And you see how this housing market is so resilient to all this stuff that's happening. Woo! All right, we got Gary Medeiros in the house saying hello to everybody. We got Dang 008 in the house. We got Scientist. Who else do we got now? We got all these people in the house joining us now. We got over 76 people watching. Thanks for joining in, guys, and tuning in to Trends in the Housing Market. We're going to keep an eye on gold and oil for the remainder of the show. The Australian markets are open for another 2 hours, so we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so what is happening, guys? Oh, man. So this one here... this is a scary one, guys. Remember I brought up on the channel many times that this economy is gumshoed and pasted through ripping people off and screwing people over? Well, they thought they were wiring an $800,000 home down payment to an escrow agent. It went to a scammer instead. Solana Beach, California. The only person that could keep Kevin and Nicole positive is their 1-year-old son. We can't sleep. You go through so many different feelings, and then the worst part is in the morning because you just wake up and feeling like it's still real. You just want to wake up and feel like it didn't happen, and it did. The couple is living a nightmare. Just days after they thought they'd achieved the American dream, they're staying with a family member in Solana Beach just days after they thought they would have closed on their dream home in nearby Carlsbad, where they hope to create a happy childhood for their son. All of this was for him, Nicole said. The house with the yard and the schools, and so he could have a sibling. But instead, their roughly $775,000 down payment for that home, 60% of the purchase price, is now in the hands of a hacker in an account in Singapore. The money, which came from prior home ownership and inheritance, was supposed to go to lowering the couple's cost of living. Nicole is a nurse and Kevin is a chef, so they hope to make the move more manageable. It's literally all the money that we had to get this house so that we could have a low enough mortgage payment that we could afford. Nicole Noir said she started receiving emails from a hacker posing as employees at her escrow company and her real estate agent who was away due to the death in the family. Kevin Noir said the emails were sent with duplicate signatures and addresses that appeared as contacts in their phone numbers after clicking the hyperlinks. The Noirs are taking specific aim at the escrow company, saying an employee emailed them an official wire instructions via an unsecured email account. The instructions did not have an account numbers, but the Noirs say the hacker got that email, duplicated the document, and sent it back with account number to a Bitcoin exchange. The couple took the document to the bank, which did not catch a red flag that should have been raised by the Bitcoin exchange. So, I mean, look, nowadays you go to the bank, and you go pay off $1,000 on the credit card. They look at you like you burnt someone's house down and steal that. And someone's going in with, $750,000 for a down payment on a house, and it's registered to some sort of bizarre Bitcoin exchange? What? After the wire transfer, Nicole called the escrow company to whom she thought she had wired the money, which says should have triggered them since they never actually sent her instructions. So the escrow company never even sent her instructions. Wow. They called back. They called to tell me that the notary would be here the next day to sign the loan docs, Nicole said. The couple is now weighing legal options and therefore asked reporters not to identify the escrow company. They have also contacted the FBI. The FBI says Californians are the biggest target for these kinds of scams. Many escrow companies have warnings saying never to accept wire instructions via email, and say prospective homeowners should instead call agents on the phone. Another strategy is to forward all the emails to an escrow agent and not just hit reply without looking at the address. In 2019, 50,000 Californians fell victim to the internet financial scams, losing more than $593 million, the highest number in the U.S. according to the Bureau. Typically, escrow will send wire instructions to the buyer via some sort of secured email, so be very suspicious if you received an unsecured wire instruction from escrow or title company, especially if the escrow or title company is not the same title company on the same escrow company that you are dealing with, said Mark Goldman, a loan officer at C2 Financial. Norris have set up a GoFundMe to help make up the loss. The story was originally published by Jonathan Horn at KGTV in San Diego. This is really damaging. This is it hurts. It hurts. You know, when you see a young family like this looking to buy a house and getting their life started, and they got a bit of inheritance, and that's it. It's in some wired account in where? Malaysia or some crap like that? Where's it from? Singapore or some crap? Yeah, Singapore. You gotta be kidding me. And then now these economies are so artificially inflated in these countries because they're getting away with basically robbing people blind. And then you got this booming economy in Singapore or wherever the country is. Oh, wow, we got so much money coming into the country. And it's like, no, you don't. You're just robbing people's inheritances, people's money, people's work, people's labor. Gary Madero says, we live in interesting times. We got Jacob 1986 in the house. Mark 3 is saying this is next level scamming. If you have all the money, you just give it away to some random email on the internet. Yeah, but how can you receive an email with duplicates and all that? Like, think of it like that. Think of it. How did that person already have all the information about the house they're buying, all that stuff? Like, how would they know that you're waiting for an email such as that? How would somebody else know what's in your mind? That's the scary part. So, guys, be really careful. And it is here. Where is it? Here. Scammers make home hunting hazardous for Bay Area renters. As if the sky-high costs of rent isn't bad enough, enterprising criminals have made finding a place to live even tougher and more dangerous. So, complaints. Dozens of California families who ripped off looking for a place to live. Now, let me tell you what happened to an emailer. His name is Josh. He doesn't want to give more information. Let me explain to you what happened, guys. Buddy was Airbnb-ing a house. A guy, not Buddy, a guy was doing Airbnb a house. And he Airbnb'd it for like 3 weeks. Said he was on vacation, is going to stay for a couple of weeks. He actually listed the apartment for rent as it was his, made up the lease documents, and then asked for a couple of grand up front. And the price was decent, but, you know, you got to pay first and last month's damage deposit, water. Buddy goes ahead and forward and pays that money up front. And guess what, my friends? Guess what, my friends? He paid for it, sent me an email and told me what happened, that he thought he was going to be moving into his place on the 1st of March of this year. And he's so broken. He lost close to $4,200 for first and last month's and damage deposit, and Buddy made off with his money. He was Airbnb-ing a place, and all he wanted to do was rent a place. They made a whole agreement. They made a lease up, but because the guy does not own the property, he's Airbnb-ing. He can't obviously rent it out or sublease it. He can't do that, right? Man, I was pretty choked when I read that email. He's pretty choked about that, you know? So watch out for this stuff, guys. Protect yourself and your money, guys. Protect yourself, because right now we're going to go through trying times. I mean, we got a lot of stuff that's hitting the fan right now. Upper Overlord 84 says, I thought about that, but they would be put on the line if something happened. 10 years in jail. Oh, really? Okay, because I know in Canada, like, it becomes a civil matter. They don't want it. The police don't want to deal with this stuff. You know, even in some cases, if someone steals your car, the police actually treat it as a civil matter in some cases. I'm not kidding. If someone steals your phone and you track it to someone's house and you call the police, they'll actually treat it as a civil matter. They won't. You know what I'm saying? So Perger also said, I lost more than that in stock market in the last 3 days. I lost 10K in the stock market in the last 3 days. Oof. Sorry, bud. Sorry. Yeah, I know. I stay out of oil and all that stuff for a long time now. I've been in gold. Gold's been doing well. I bought back on the dip, and now it's going back up. Let's take a look now where gold's at. Market's open for another hour and 45 minutes, and it's already up over the 1650 mark, like I said. And yeah, if this stays over the 1650, you might see the TSX and the Dow is going to be taking a hit upon opening. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, the Dow's taking a pretty strong hit. I think they're going to be they're going to have to drop a ton of money into the markets. Instead of dropping a ton of money in the hands of the workers that I could actually stimulate the economy and actually go out and spend it and pay bills and keep the economy going, they keep putting the money into corporations that are failing, of course. That's why they need these repo markets. And that's why you saw the repo strains we've been going through. Okay, this one's kind of heartbreaking. BC Liberals pressure province to help condo owners hit by skyrocketing strata insurance. I need to get Gary Medeiros on the phone. I don't know where the hell that guy is. I need to get him on the phone right now, because we've been talking about this right now. I know he does not look at the condo markets, but I need to get his input on this, because this is very important. Layla in the house. 26 Gunter. Scotty Morrison from Australia in the house.
Hello.
Gary.
Hey, man. How are you?
Touch boom.
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. Okay, man. Listen, I you're the guy to call on this one, because I know you've been sidelining and stuff. How do you feel about the BC Liberals pressured the province to help condo owners with skyrocketing strata insurance? Do you think it's fair for taxpayers to pay skyrocketing strata insurance?
I don't know, man. It just seems like this government is doing the opposite thing to help people. That's pretty much what I'm seeing in all this.
Yeah, because this is actually taking a strong chord with this has hit a chord with quite a few people, and they're not happy with this. Why are they doing everything in I don't know. They're doing everything they can to keep this Ponzi market going. When's it going to end?
I don't know, man. It seems like they want to keep this thing going. That's all I can say. I don't know. I don't really know what to say anymore, to be honest.
Have you gone to see some properties lately?
Nothing recent, no.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to keep you just to keep up to date, to see what you've been up to, with the property market. I know you've been waiting for a while, and there's no correction coming.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's interesting, that's for sure. It seems like the market's going full speed ahead nowadays, so I don't know. Bidding wars look like they're starting up again. Townhouses are selling for $900,000 or over. It doesn't make sense.
You posted a very interesting article today on your Facebook page, which caught my attention. How they're starting to realize that there's billions of dollars laundered through Canadian real estate. How long have we been talking about this on this channel?
I think it's been years now.
Yeah. Why are they finding out about this now all of a sudden? The article you posted was from like 8 hours ago. How did they just realize this today in 2020, first quarter of 2020?
I don't know. I think they know now something's coming. I think they're just covering their ass. I don't know what else to say, man.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just, things are happening left, right, and center now. And like I said, and I'll say it again, this virus thing, this happened at the perfect time because now Trudeau and Trump have something to blame it on if the economy tanks on their both sides. So it's an
Exactly,
interesting.
exactly. I think
So
Trudeau is gonna basically, yeah. This is actually what this is the call sign. This is what they've been waiting for to happen, right?
yeah, so they're gonna use this as the excuse. They're gonna both sides for that matter. They're gonna use it as an excuse to say, you know what? Oh, it wasn't us. It was the economy. It was the
Hmm.
virus that did it, right? So it's perfect timing for that. And a lot of things are happening. And Eastern Canada, I don't know. We're apparently they're making it seem like Canada's economy is indestructible. So I don't know.
Well, our job numbers came out and they weren't good. We from last quarter of last year, our production and exports weren't good. Our inflation was up. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing more we could say that to say that we are in a recession. Japan has already acknowledged to the world and has basically set it on record that now they're officially now in a recession.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know what it's going to take for Australia and Canada and New Zealand to actually call a spade and start moving forward to fix this. Because once you start calling a recession, you're going to have to start raising interest rates, Gary. And they don't want to raise interest rates. And that's a huge problem because a lot of people bought these properties. Now, I don't blame the insurance company for not covering these multi-million dollar two-bedroom condos. If I was an insurance company, I would never want to cover that. That's too much to cover. That's too much.
They're not even supposed to be that high in price. It doesn't make sense.
Right, because you know and I know condo is the bottom of the ladder when it comes to the cheapest inventory on the market. It starts with a detached home with land, then it comes with semi-detached as second, then third is townhouse, and then fourth is like condos, lofts, apartments, and all that stuff. Come in last because it's the most affordable on the scale of housing. But as a one bedroom, 675, 700 grand for a one bedroom apartment, and it's not even like like a 5-star resort. You know what I'm saying, Gary?
Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So now strata insurance companies are saying, look, we can't cover this. We can't cover this. We can't 300 400 units in a building, 600 grand a piece. They're not
Yeah.
going to cover that.
Yeah, this is in BC though. I don't know if Toronto's going through any of
Toronto
this right
is
now. I
going
mean,
through.
I don't.
There's a couple of issues now in Toronto where a lot of terms are coming up right now.
I think the McChronicle would know that better than me as far as condos go. I don't really follow too much the condo market compared to him. I mean, I
Hmm.
look more at the small, like the low rise stuff. But
Yeah, like bungalows and stuff, right?
yeah, well, semis, towns, bungalows, detaches, whatever. I mean, that's what I look at. The condo market's not really something I pay attention to too much.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. But do you think that taxpayers should be on the hook for this, or
I don't think so.
yeah? I mean, it's not our fault, right?
Exactly.
I mean, people get in, they get in, right? Because people are so happy they're rich on paper, but if they can't sell their asset, it doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah, I came close to buying a house. What was it, last week or the week before? But the problem is, it was a semi in Vaughan that needed like it was they were asking like 750, and they needed like 100 grand worth of work, and that just it wasn't worth it. I just might as well put that 100 grand towards more house than put it towards renovations.
Right.
So I decided not to. So it
What town was that in?
was in Vaughan,
Vaughan. Okay, Vaughan. Wow,
Vaughan, Ontario,
700 large.
pretty much for a semi.
Who?
And
Who?
this is a semi that's like 40 or whatever. I don't even know how many years old, but the house isn't even insulated. It's all plaster. So that's how old the house is. It needed so much work, and it wasn't worth buying. I mean, we came close, but it just at the end, we decided not to just because the work it needed was too much.
Holy crap. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow, that's kind of good you kind of thought with your head there and then not jump on the FOMO market, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, they're trying to create. That's what's really driving the market right now. Is I think it's FOMO. I think people again are panicking, and FOMO's the number one driver right now. So I think that's what it is. But what I'm seeing right now is these houses selling for like 150, 200 grand again over asking. And I don't think it's Canadian proper doing that. I think it's foreigners coming in again. I don't believe we have people like me have that kind of money or whatever the situation. I mean, I don't see it unless mommy and daddy are still co-signing for these homes. I mean, that's the only other way.
Yeah. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, Gary, thanks for sharing that with us, buddy. It's good to hear
Yeah.
real stories from real people because, yeah, I know, I don't want to bring this up a lot when you're on the phone because it just gets everybody mad. But, you go down to Sarasota, that 200 grand or 100 grand in renovations, you could buy a nice 3-bedroom home detached.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And then how many people tell me, "Oh, Mike, there's no jobs there." I'm like, "What are you talking about? There's 20 million people living in the state of Florida. You're telling me there's no jobs?"
Well, I don't know, man. People are still in denial about what's going on in Canada as far as
Exactly.
the economy. Everyone thinks everything's still booming and everything. And I'll tell you right now, these people think that have blinders on to the world. Like it doesn't make sense. You know,
Even
we've all
oh,
been, we've this has been talked about for years now. You've been talking about it. I mean, the McChronicle has been talking about it. It's been all over. It's all over. Like it's been on the stories now for so many years, but. Nobody wants to believe it now. Things seem to be coming to pretty serious now. I was
mhm.
just telling Steve the plumber yesterday that if we somehow survive all this, like if the economy survives all this stuff, like with these blockades and this virus, nothing's going to take this economy down.
Never, ever in a quadrillion years. Why? Because
Yeah,
they'll go to negative interest rates. They'll remove the cash. Once they destroy the cash, and you can only buy on credits, Republic credits, you're done.
yeah,
That's it. You buy on credits. That's it. Everything you buy on credits now. You have some sort of like with your thumbprint or your card or whatever the barometric chip they put inside you to buy and sell your stuff. And the government, if you buy a hot dog at the hot dog stand, you pay tax on it. If you sell something at a garage sale, you got to pay tax on it or pay the GST to your government. It's going to be very, very, very dangerous upcoming. And if, like you said, if the economy survives all this crap, because Canada is one of the very few countries that still has open flights to China.
no, not anymore. I think they canceled it till April. Air Canada suspended it to April 10th right now.
Really,
They
because I know
actually
they've been
that was
having
posted. I don't
this.
know if that was posted today or yesterday. Maybe today or yesterday. But yeah, flights to China is has been postponed until April 10th, at least for now. Anyway, I don't know if they'll change that. Who knows? Trudeau
Oh
needs that
wow, they
money.
finally they finally did it. Wow, it took them what 2 months to figure it out.
I don't know, man. Trudeau's an idiot. I'll say it again. Trudeau is an idiot.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what the end game is here because now, like you said, if this survives, then you know what's going to happen, Gary. Like I said, I think we're going to go towards negative interest rates. So people that are borrowing are being rewarded, and then people like you and me or whatever that save are being punished for saving money.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's what it is, right? I mean, we're saving money, and you know what? It's trying to get into the market, and the foreigners coming in and scooping all these properties, man. I mean, I don't mind them coming here to buy. I mean, if they want to buy a home or whatever to raise a family, and that's one thing. But to keep these homes empty, that's a whole different story, right? They're buying it just to keep empty. Let's takes away from us.
it does. And the Canadian proper, the Australian proper, same thing. And I had that poll that I put up on my page on the community poll here on my YouTube channel, where I asked people where are they worse off or where are they worse off living. And believe it or not, Gary, Australia came in first place on that poll I did. So guys, get over to the poll under community under the channel. The fifth or sixth post down or eighth post down. The question was, who is worse off? So, Gary, believe it or not, Australia is in first place with 42%. Canada is second place with 29%. And then the UK is 12%. And then New Zealand's 9%. And America's 8% worse off. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Canada and Australia, I think, are in the same boat right now. And did you hear about they want to start bringing in cameras now? And putting cameras all over the place?
Cameras where? Sorry.
Cameras all over every intersection, every corner, there's going to be like up to 10 to 15 cameras per street.
I think they have cameras all over the place already. I mean, it's just not as much. I mean, the traffic. I think every traffic light has a camera somewhere.
Oh no,
I
they
mean,
want to install like 3 million cameras.
no, more of our tax-paying money, I guess.
Yeah, for our protection.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks for having me
No
on the show.
problem, man. We'll talk soon, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, bye.
Bye now.
That is Gary Medeiros, who is in Eastern Canada, looking but not jumping, just looking. Guys, get over to this question here on the community. Who is worse off? We have 276 votes now, and Australia is leading the pack with the worst off country to be in right now. So, Interesting. Yeah, so Zephyrius saying negative interest rates means the banks are not making any money. No, they are making money. They're taking money from your savings. Zephyr 6788. They're actually taking money from your bank accounts every month. That's how they make money. Negative interest rates work like that. Yeah, it's happened before. They've gone into negative, not in Canada. I'm saying like in the US. In the US, when they had this problem during the Reagan administration, all they did was raise interest rates through the roof, and they kind of pretty much fixed the economy literally overnight when they raised rates. A lot of people defaulted, but it was the thing to do back in the day, right? It was the right thing to do. Now, we ain't doing the right thing anymore. That's the problem. So we got the repo markets. Oh, I like this one. Meanwhile, in Canada, chat is disabled for this live stream. I love that, man. Freedom of speech. All right, let's get back to where we were here. Let's take a look at the Australian markets are open right now. It's very important to keep an eye. Markets are open for another hour and a half. Gold is at 1,648, up $5.40. Gold's going to stay above the 1650 mark, in my opinion. Bitcoin, BTC to Australian dollar, no one cares. The ASX and the All Ords right now are down right now. That's the one to look at. And the Australian economy, man, their dollar is somewhat strengthening through the trading day. Gold is up 540 from the open. Crypto's down. Australian to Euro's down. Whoa, 60 cents. And the New Zealand exchange is taking another hit. And right now, the Nikkei is down, and the Hang Seng is down too. So Dow Jones finished down 123 points. So looking forward to tomorrow. BitConnect! What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Woo! Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember BitConnect. They thought they were wiring $800,000 down payment to escrow account, and it was a scammer. Scammers make home hunting hazardous for... so what happened was... and then this other one. BC Liberals pressure province to help condo owners by skyrocketing strata insurance is going to be paid by taxpayers. Toronto new house prices fall, but condos rip to all-time high. Woo! Can't even pay the insurance on it. Woo! Canada residential investment is seeing growth accelerate. Yeah, residential investment. No one buys a house anymore to raise a family. Everybody buys a house so they can say they own something. Woo! Keep it empty. Woo! Yeah. Scotty there, we got Scotty here, Scott Morrison here from the Prime Minister of Australia saying, the market needs a correction. They won't let us have a recession. Yeah, people demand a recession. People want to fix this crap. Toronto and Vancouver incomes decline while Canada's virtually unchanged. Incomes don't go up. Price of everything goes up, and we're gonna go into stagflation mode. Wages stay the same, price of everything stays the same. Unemployment goes up and nothing moves. We are stagflation like Japan is. Go to Tokyo and see what I'm talking about. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Anyway, so there it is there, and let's go here. This week's big story is Canadian real estate prices make biggest move in almost 2 years as mortgage restrictions ease. We covered that last week on last week's show where we were discussing the ease. Getting more people in the market. Toronto and Vancouver and new home prices fall while Montreal soars. Montreal's running out of empty luxury condos to sell. Luxury condos in Montreal are being snapped up by foreign investors, and they're running out in Montreal of luxury condos. Woo! Oh, we got Walking Journey in the house. God bless him. God bless him, Walking Journey. Hopefully he come on Mike in the Night because I need to talk about the CV virus and what the heck is going on with New York putting, I don't know, like 750 people in voluntary, what the hell you call it? Incubation, if you want to call it. Quarantine. All right, let's keep going here. So let me tell you about what's happening in Spain with squatters. So in Spain, they've been having, and I spoke to somebody there. I talked to Manuel. What was his name? Manuel. What's his name? Manuel Augustas. He's from just east of Barcelona, and he told me that there's a couple of vacation homes owned by foreign investors, and people have moved in. 3 homes. People have actually moved in their furniture, changed the locks, and paying the utilities, the water, the hydro, the electricity, the cable bill. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like, what, really? Yeah, in Spain. So I think Spain has other more important things to deal with than to deal with who owns what house or what. And I think what's happening in Spain is... Here it is here. Centro de Social Entrevistas. Entrevivas, sorry. So just talking about kind of like notoriety or something, right? Southern Ontario is snowed out. Oh no, it's like 9 degrees here. It's beautiful. I got my window open. It's been gorgeous all week. Then we got next week. All next week is going to be gorgeous. Here in March, where I live in BC, when March hits, guess what? It's springtime. It's actually springtime here. Flowers growing in Ontario. Boo, we got to wait till May 2 for. All right, dodgy money. So squatters, scams. Man, Spain's going through a big, tough time. And now, I don't know if you guys know about the Yellow Vest movement in France. They're having problems because a lot of people are moving into empty homes that are foreign invested homes in Paris and changing the locks, moving in, calling the locksmith. Locksmith doesn't ask, did you steal this house? They just change the locks, go in. The cable company's happy to hear. The water company's happy. Oh, we haven't had water there in years. Let's hook you up. We can pay your bill every month. The gas company is happy. So that's what's happening right now, too. Oh, somebody's calling. Oh, it's the McChronicle. Yo, Macroni, what's up, buddy?
Not much, Mike. How are you?
I'm going to open your channel here so I could show people your channel.
Beautiful. Go ahead, brother.
The McChronicle. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the McChronicle. He is a supporter of this channel. He's putting up stuff all the time. He's got something from 2 days ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. All kinds of stuff on the McChronicle. So, guys, he has 789 subscribers. There's enough people watching this right now to get him to the next level. I'll leave a link in the comments if you guys could go over and subscribe. So, go ahead, buddy. Tell us what's on your mind.
No, I saw the article from Better Dwelling earlier, how new condo prices just ripped to an all-time high. I mean, it just seems crazy to me out there. I mean, so some of the prices they're paying for these pre-sales right now, I think anyone, like, it's mostly investors doing it. To me, it's just late cycle dynamics here at play. I mean, the investors flippers always get in the game late cycle. You know that, and
it's the melt up. It's the melt up phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, anyone buys them melt up. I mean, you know what happens, right? You pretty much never see you pretty much almost never see your money back typically.
Mm-hmm.
But
by the time insurance companies not being able to flip the bill because look, let's be conservative. Let's say $500,000 for the average apartment in a tower. You got 300 units. How are they, or let's say 220 units? How are they going to flip that bill if something happens?
Well, that's the main problem, right? I mean, it's the insane replacement costs involved now. I mean, even look at the claims that are filed. I mean, even here in Toronto, for example, I mean, how many cases have we seen falling glass coming off condo buildings? How many cases have we seen there's been a flood downtown, the underground parking garage floods, and they're paying off for 6-figure cars down the bottom floors of parking garages? I mean, how many claims are they paying out for a furnace going out in the middle of winter? I mean, how many claims are they paying out, well, both in Toronto and Vancouver for Airbnb and all the mishaps that are involved with that? Mm-hmm. How many claims do they pay out for bursted pipes that go through floors and cause squeaky floors and all that? So, I mean, it's all these replacement costs. I mean, they're insane. Like, some stuff that's getting filed right now is just insane. And insurance companies, look, they're in the business. They're in the game making money too, like everybody else. And they've really just eaten too much down the years, and they're not going to have it anymore.
That's a good point. So yeah, and you know, if let's say prices came down to realistically, let's say prices came down to reality. Let's just arguably say that
Okay.
people have no idea what they should be paying on an insurance. What their premium should be, big with an asset for that expensive, right? The average home 10, 15 years ago wasn't that much money unless you were buying Michael Jordan's house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and as I said, I mean, and the funny thing with all these things is, I mean, it always comes home to roost usually at the wrong end of the cycle, right? And that's pretty much what's happening right now. I mean, I mentioned it on my channel so many times. I mean, another thing no one's looking at too right now is rising unemployment. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how many people have you seen talking about that besides me and you?
There's not
And
many people
maybe
talking about the rising unemployment because the job numbers, we get the job numbers from the federal side of it. It looks all good. But when you go to the payroll side of things, it looks pretty eerie when you know that like more and more government jobs are propping up to make up for the private sector jobs that we're losing.
exactly. Well, there's that. I mean, wage growth has been stagnant for, in real terms, God, for a long time now. On top of that, I mean, you have a system in there intended to punish savers. I mean, how anyone honestly make ends meet really is beyond me. I mean, it's also one of the factors coming in now too, with all the insolvencies you're seeing starting to happen now too. So
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see where things end up turning, to be really frank with you, because what do you think? Gary Medeiros was on earlier, and he stated basically if our economy survives this whole CV thing, and we survive the CV, and our economy still stays resilient, I think this market will never go. I think we're going to have to go towards negative rates.
look, I agree with that. I mean, if this doesn't take it down, then yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I don't see an exogenous event that will. I mean, you just look at the virus on the surface of it. I mean, this whole thing is way worse than anything we've seen in God at least what 40 years, you'd say.
I would
I
say
mean,
the basically the turn of the century with the Spanish influenza.
yeah, as far as epidemics and that go, yes, I'm just referring to main major events and everything else. But yeah, I mean, like even look at Australia's case. I mean, Australia hasn't seen a recession in what 28, 29 years, I believe now.
The real recession was 1975. Was the real hardcore hard hit one.
Yeah,
And then
yes,
they've been in a bull market pretty much since then. If you really want to call a spade a spade, if you really look at the numbers, you could see
yeah.
what I'm talking about when it comes to that. And you know what? Okay, let me ask you this one. I want to kind of ask you this one before I forget. How do you feel about people in France and in Spain moving into investment properties, changing the locks, and paying the water bill, hydro, and they're not squatting. Squatting means you're just in there, trash the place,
They're
and
paying
leave.
nothing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? And the electricity company doesn't ask them, "Did you steal the house?"
I
You
mean,
know?
look, I mean, it's. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, just part of the whole populist movement happening around the world right now, and you just look at it. I mean, there was. I remember even in Germany, I think a couple of months ago too, they pretty much almost had a riot on the streets over the cost of living there, and people have just put their pitchforks in the ground, so to speak, and they're just not going to take it anymore. That's honestly what I think is going on there.
Hmm.
I mean, would I go ahead and do something like that myself? I mean, absolutely not. But you kind of see whatever's going on around the world right now, and you put two and two together, and from that point, you kind of understand what's going on then, right? But as you say, if you watch the news, you don't get the news, right?
Right. That's the problem. I mean, some of this stuff that they put up there, I can't believe it. I'm watching some of this stuff and I'm like, wow. It's like, should I
Well,
watch the news or the Academy Awards? They're both bad.
no one watched the Academy Awards either, right? So uh,
Yeah.
I think we're in a good boat on that one. I think, but yeah, in general, it's just insane times we're living in right now. I mean, there's really no other way to really cut it from this to everything going on in Canada to everything going on down in Australia, which is just one ticking time bomb all in itself. I mean,
Now, let's
all
hold
the
on.
it's
Let's
all,
hit on Australia real quick. Interest only mortgages are
yeah,
coming up for renewal, so they go on terms. And I covered that earlier. They're looking at some people are looking at anywhere from $202 a month to $789 per month on their mortgage renewals because now they got to start paying down their principal. What the heck is going to happen with that?
Well, I mean, if you look at the numbers back, and I think I did a brief bit on it back myself about a couple of years ago. I think through 2019 and 2021, I think the number of mortgages they had come up like that, I think was over half a trillion dollars, I believe.
They're saying
And
it's about 380,000 mortgages are coming up for renewal this in 2020.
yeah, there's more in 2021, I believe, also, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, every year there's going to be a couple of 100,000.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if even rate cuts can help it. I mean, you can go ahead and cut rates even to negative. I'm not sure it's going to get you out of that one, unfortunately.
No.
I mean, you have one little small recession and even a 10% unemployment spike. Look
Yeah.
out. That's really all I'm going to say on that. And the problem also Australia's got too. I mean, they have a huge amount of leverage to China, and we see what's happening with that house of cards right now. I mean, the whole thing with the virus and everything else. I mean, no one really understands. The economy started slowing down like a year and a half ago around the world,
Hmm.
and and another thing too. I know Gary was mentioning this, how they need an excuse. Need an excuse? Yes, no, that is correct. Remember why they need an excuse. Next year is the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party.
Hmm.
There's no way they're going to want. There's no way that any communist regime would ever want the regime fall on one of their anniversaries when they plan a big party for it.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, you have the Olympics this year in Japan. I mean, no one watches.
I don't know how that's the Summer Olympics, right? Or winter?
No, it's summer. It's summer.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's going to kick
it's
off in a couple of months, right?
yeah. I mean, yeah, they're building venues still right now. I think all the venues are supposed to be done in April or May, and I believe in July is the opening ceremonies. Yeah, if they don't get a handle on that, I'm not sure how that's going to work out because Japan's one of the countries in the real meat of the epidemic right now too. So I I I honestly don't know, dude. I honestly don't know.
So this could be a cover up basically to drown out the reality of what's really happening. What
Yeah.
do you think of the scamming that's going on along the west coast here, all the way from Vancouver all the way down to San Diego, where people are being scammed hundreds, tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands of dollars? What the heck is happening with that, man? And then it ends up in some Singapore bank account.
Yeah, when I saw that, I honestly don't even know what to say to that. Honestly,
Yeah.
eight
How could
hundred. That one he's
somebody do
mentioned
that to a
eight hundred
family?
thousand. Um, oh, yeah, I wish I had the answers on that one. Now, of course, dark money, the crime lords and all that. We've been getting the whole discussion on that. Then that money somehow gets laundered back into our real estate markets too, somehow guaranteed. Um, yeah, there's almost too much going on with that one to even mention in one show, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
lots of
but
comments rolling in. Ton of comments from all over the world rolling into the show. We got people from New Zealand on the show here, Australia. We
yeah,
got people from
what's up,
everywhere
everybody?
tuning in.
What's up?
Huh?
What's up, everybody? What's up?
What's up, everybody? This is the McChronicle here. His channel is really good. He discusses a lot of things that are happening, whether it's... Okay, so now let me ask you this. What's going to happen when the cost of living comes to reality, where the price of gas becomes $3 a liter, where the price of... Because the price of oil, I got it up right here, it's going down. And you know what happens when the price of oil keeps going down? The price of gas goes up, right?
Yeah.
So that's very scary territory. Right now, oil is sitting at... It
About 40
is...
bucks. I think it's $40, I believe, right now,
Let
around
me
there
go
somewhere.
here.
Oh, it's
Oil
about 40, right?
48.13.
There we go. Yeah.
And Canada's not profiting off this whole fracking and oil sands and tar sands or whatever they're doing. It's not working. So the more they produce, the more they produce at a loss. So that's not they're finally figuring out they're losing more than what they're making. So what's going to happen when prices do come to reality?
I mean, where you're going to see it ultimately is the grocery store. I mean,
Well, we're seeing it now in the insurance rates for
yeah,
condos right now. We're seeing that, right?
yeah. I mean,
We're seeing car insurance spikes. We're starting to see a lot of things happening in play. I think gasoline and the grocery stores are the last. What do you think? Is there anything else?
gasoline, the grocery store. If you own a home, property taxes is going to be a big one over the
Yeah.
next couple of years. You've covered that. Um, hydro gas, hydro and natural gas. So, i.e., heating your home, keeping your lights on. That would be another one that's already already happening. Your bill went up $150 last month, I think, or something like that.
No, it was $400.
No, well, yeah, I'm saying it went. Yeah, but no, what I was saying was it went up by 150. But
Yeah, that's
anyways,
correct. It went up $150, $440,
it's
and I paid
$400. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
$120 in carbon tax.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, holy cow! How do some people survive, man? I have no idea. It's gonna be that too. And like I said, I mean, look at the increase in consumer insolvencies the last 18 months. A lot of this is playing into it, right? And we haven't seen the grocery bills really pick up yet. We know hydro and natural gas and all that's going to be higher. Wages are definitely aren't keeping up. I mean, unemployment's starting to spike now.
Okay, so somebody sent me this. It's called the Military World Games, officially known as the 7th CIMSI. Military World Games is held on October 18th, through 27th in 2019 in the capital of Hubei province in Wuhan, China. Oh, wow. So it's called the Military World Games. And
Yeah,
wow, that was just,
that was
huh?
that was October of last year. It says, right?
2019, yeah.
Oh my god.
And there's a lot of people in that area. How long has this virus been rolling around, right?
Well, the whole thing that gets to me is Bill Gates had like a big conference where he, like around that time, I believe, also where he mentioned that the world wasn't prepared for the next pandemic. And think of the timing around that.
I know. And when you start connecting the dots, it don't look good.
Yeah, it's definitely not bat soup causing it. That's for sure.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, are you prepared? Do you have anything prepared? Do you have any preparedness? Do you have anything? Water, food, anything ready to go?
Oh, yeah. I have water, canned food. I even have rechargeable AA batteries, believe it or not. I have firewood. Oh, yeah.
Corned beef?
You know, that. I have corned beef. I have canned chicken. I have a whole bunch of things. Canned soups. I have Chef Boyardee. I mean, oh my God, what do I have here? I got more things than I need here. Well, never have enough, of course. And I have rechargeable AA batteries. Why I have those? I mean, you never know, right? I have firewood in case the heat ever goes out in my house. I have a wood burning fireplace in my home, thank God. So I have that. So I'll have some kind of heat source.
Let me ask you, what do you recommend for people living in condos? A majority of our population lives in a condo or some sort of a center like that. A lot of people are under the impression that the government's going to come and save them. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, by the time the government even comes close to saving it, it's going to be too late. So yeah, I mean, if you're in a condo, have at least somewhere with a detached home you can go to, have a whole bunch of canned food. In my case, rechargeable batteries, I think, are a definite must, especially for flashlights, and there's a whole bunch of things around AA batteries, right? So it's a good thing. Actually, have rechargeables for those. Oh God. But yeah, if you're living in a condo, very least have a place that's a plan B that you can go to for something like that. Because
a bug out.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I mean, if you're gonna once the power goes out in a condo, you have nothing. I mean, the only thing you have is maybe a 30 or 40 square foot balcony you can just stand on, and that's it. Like, what are you gonna do with that?
Mm-hmm. Do you think FEMA will emergency preventive measures, whatever those guys are in the States, might roll out a few camps or something for people if that happens? Or
if something like if it's a massive storm like that, yeah, they definitely would. But I mean, but here's the thing: if you're already caught inside and you can't get out, I mean, how long is it gonna take you to get out, right? So that's when you need to have a backup plan, have things with you just in case. I mean, by the time they get to you, sometimes it could be 2 or 3 weeks at least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and look, listen. At the end of the day, all you can do is know what you need, know how you can prepare yourself. At the end of the day, you really can't rely on someone else to bail you out for you. Basically, essentially, honestly, you really can't. Because by the time they go do it, it's always too late.
Right. Got a quick question here from somebody asking, are you loaded up on guns and stuff?
Oh yeah, I've loaded up on all that. I'm loaded up on. Well, I do have some gold and platinum also, and everything else I do have. Yes.
Good for you.
Well, yeah, you can't live without those, man.
Yeah, you can't live without a few Bowie knives, a couple of like couple of good machetes and stuff. I think will help offset a little bit of tension if you have something at least that could back you up, right? So now recession. What are they going to announce? I know Japan did. Japan already announced they're in a recession. Finally, after what, 20 years? When do you think
Yeah.
Canada's going to come forward and say we are now officially in a recession?
I have a funny feeling. Oh man. The thing to remember too is, of course, this is an election year in the U.S. and our economics, our announcements do tend to piggyback back a lot off them. And of course, they're not going to announce a recession in an election before an election. They can state that. So, as far as when they announce it in Canada, and even the U.S. for that matter, also, it's probably not going to be until the end of the year. But you follow me, you follow you. You already know we're basically already in a recession. Unemployment doesn't rise as fast as it is right now without us being in a recession.
Exactly.
That's all I'm going to say on
Well,
that.
we're going to hit stagnation because the price of everything keeps going up alongside of unemployment, and the price of goods keep going up.
Exactly. And this is the stagflation that always happens right in the early stages of a recession. So,
but if they don't pull the trigger and raise interest rates, then we're screwed because they're just going to go to negative, and the average Joe Donuts is not going to know what hit them.
oh yeah. Every recession, as you know, has a certain sort of wealth transfer that's always associated with it, and yeah, by the time they realize it's going to be too late, and that's why we always say be prepared for the worst possible outcome, whatever the situation is. Make sure you're loaded on your safe haven assets, and again, you got to load up on it before it's too late, because when it's too late, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll put it this way: the bond market's been telling you something's wrong with the economy really for the past year now. If you look at the inverted yield curves and everything else, the bond market was probably the one that was most ahead of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow that signal, you're good. If you went ahead and denied it and kept pretending everything's fine, unfortunately, it's gonna punch you square in the mouth.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. And average Joe Donuts, what are they gonna do once they wake up to, or they wake up one morning and get a crash course on economics and watching it on the news and watching everywhere on what's happening? I mean, are they gonna put the blame on the media for not informing or preparing people? Is the media at fault? Does the media hold some sort of responsibility for not preparing anybody? I wonder.
Oh, oh God, yeah. Well, the media. The media always does. Unfortunately, there's many out there that won't get it, but the media should hold their response.
Because I don't know why they hold the power when it comes to getting the message, right?
They see the exact same things exactly. And at the end of the day, just unfortunately, many won't understand that even after it punches them in the face. If you go outside the bubble and follow guys like me, you, George Gammon, Max Kaiser, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, Max Kaiser is the king, man.
Oh yeah, well, he's amazing.
Yeah.
There's too many guys I follow now. I follow George Gammon, Greg Manorino is another guy I follow also, and a few other guys. But yeah, if you want to get outside your bubble and really know what's going on, you get outside your bubble. Unfortunately, many won't do that. Who will they blame? It's usually either the media or the government, one or the other. So, and then they don't get it. They get all the news from sources that won't give them the news, so to speak, and then nothing ever changes really in the end. And then the wealth transfer happens during every recession, and then they still won't know what hit them 10 years after it's done. So
exactly. And what's scary about it could be the biggest catastrophic event that's happening on the world, and the headline news coverage is today a cat has 9 babies today. It's like,
who cares?
This is not news.
It's almost a who cares moment, right? Yeah, the media. It's meant to sort of desensitize you in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like take you out of your element. Don't worry, everything's fine. There's nothing to see here.
Like the guy on the Titanic that was telling everyone not to panic. Remember?
Oh yeah, or in 2007 when Ben Bernanke's telling everyone that subprime is contained.
That means it's not.
You see where I'm going? Good.
Yeah,
you see where I'm going with that.
Contained.
Yeah, the certain virus we can't mention on here is under control. It's just the flu, right?
Under control.
It's just the flu. Remember, Mike? It's just the flu.
Yeah, under control. I don't know, man. I just, you know, to be really frank with you, dude, I'm just really disappointed that we're really not. I don't know how to say it. We're really not, you know, with these incinerators working 24/7 now. I don't know if you saw my video today where
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
underestimated the numbers by 54%,
Oh,
or 54 times,
easily.
54
Yeah,
times.
easily. Yeah, they brought out like what 40 new incinerators the last couple of days or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, and it goes to show you, right? I mean, hey, listen. To be honest with you, the last like even 15 years, say the whole world has almost been a lie, to be honest. So
It has. You're right about that one. You hit the nail on the head. That one. The whole world's been an absolute lie. It's been a charade. It's been smoke and mirrors and curtains, and it's just the average people that built and worked and contributed to this infrastructure are the ones being shown the door. That's the scary part.
oh yeah, it's always the good old hardworking folks who just go on about their business, come home to their families at night, take care of their families, take the kids to school in the morning, make sure there's clothing, make sure they have a roof over their head, make sure they're fed.
You
And
know,
I mean,
send their
there's
kids to school, pay their taxes, soccer on
exactly.
Thursdays.
Yep. You know the phrase "nice guys finish last."
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a reason that phrase came about, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all there is to it.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, that was a really good plug, buddy.
It was.
All right, guys. Don't forget, guys, if you can, please, the McChronicle, I'll give you a link in the comments, in the live comments. Please subscribe to his channel if you guys can. He's a good guest on the show and comes on. His channel is right there, the McChronicle.
Yep.
And he's got a bit of a discussion here on what's happening with that. You know what? When you start doing a live stream or have guests on your channel, if you want me, I could come on. I'm not that good, but I could come on and just talk with you.
Oh, don't worry, man. I mean, I remember the first time I went on your show, Steve the plumber had to friggin' pull my hair to get me on your show. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good old Steve the plumber. Good old Steve the plumber.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna bug him
That's
at
it.
work. I know he's at work right now. I'm gonna bug him.
Oh, he's always at work now, man. He's busier than a one-armed paper hanger every time I talk to him.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of foreclosures, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think he's doing like what, two or three a day now at least, on top of his regular calls and everything else.
Yeah, he's doing 2 or 3 foreclosures per day. Poor
Yeah,
guy.
call him. I'll stay on. Call him.
You want me to add him to the call?
Yeah, go ahead if you want to, man.
Let
It's
me
up to
see
you.
how
It's your
to do
show.
that. Add. Okay, search. Here he is. Let me add him to the call here. Add. Okay, we're calling him.
Can you still hear me?
Stevie there?
Steve?
No, it's still calling. He's
Oh,
unavailable.
that's fine. Yeah, he's probably busy anyways.
Yeah. All right. All right. All right, Evan, I'm going to let you go, brother. And you have yourself a great night. I know it's
I'll
11
hop back.
p.m. where you are.
Yeah, I'm still up. I'll probably just hop back in the chat and bug you like I always do. So
Okay. We'll talk soon. You stay out of trouble, okay, Evan?
I will, Mike, most certainly.
You have a good
Thanks
night.
again.
Bye.
Bye.
That is the McChronicle calling into the channel, guys. If you want to, please subscribe to his channel. He's got stuff he's sending me here in Skype. I get so many Skype messages per day, guys, so I'm trying to keep up with them. It looks like we're gonna have Liam on the show on Saturday on Mike in the Night. We got STP looks like he's green right now, but he's not answering. And oh, well, it looks like I got a message from Formafist. And I got uneducated economist. I need to get back on the show. I really like him a lot. I hope he's okay. Well, let's get Lord Humongous. I see him in the comments. Lord, I want to have you on the show, but don't mention the CV if you don't mind. the CV. I don't want this specific video to be flagged. We could do Mike in the Night. We could talk about CV virus all night long. No problem. But I want to see if I get Lord Humongous. I'm not sure if he's making pasta right now or cooking a steak. That's the problem. We don't know what he's up to, right? So I'm going to give him a call too because to see what he's got going on. So I'm going to give him a few seconds. I know he's listening to the show live right now. And just to get him to give us an insight on what's happening on stateside when it comes to the economy, jobs, what the heck is going on, right? Dex Pressina, where are you located? People are asking people where they're located. So remember, guys, there's people from the entire Commonwealth on here. This channel is very diverse when it comes to English-speaking countries. So let's see if we could call Lord Humongous from the Humongous Wasteland.
Yo.
What's up, dog?
What are you doing, dog?
Nada, just watching you in the comments.
I'm watching you on the show.
Great. Okay, economy. What the heck is going on, dude? What the heck is going on? We're getting job numbers from one end, fake job numbers on the other end. We're getting all kinds of lies from every angle. They're not telling us what we need to know. Gold skyrocketed. Let's look at gold right now. Where is gold right now? Gold is sitting at 1648. It's up 540. I think, maybe I'm wrong. Do you think 1630 was the threshold for gold and it's going to stay above? What do you think?
No, I think 1650 is the actual floor.
Oh,
for resistance, yeah.
Oh,
I don't think gold's gonna it's gonna kind of go back into a consolidation mode this next month, I think. But the one metal to watch will be silver. I think silver's gonna do its thing and outpace gold next month.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what a lot of these charts are pointing to.
Interesting. And oil is below $50 a barrel. We're at 48.13 now. American economy can't live off a $48 barrel of oil.
Well, the world can't really. It's not just America. America's got its own strategic supply. If we really have to tap into it, they'll open those lines up, guaranteed.
But then what happens to countries like Canada, Venezuela, Angola that are very oil-dependent countries?
You guys are screwed. I mean, they're already closing down your tar sands.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, because we have a government that wants to go pro-green and rainbows and unicorns, but then they still want to sign deals and make money for the country so they can flip their deficits, but they're not doing. They can't have both, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're going after Suncor too down here for like some kind of like unpaid taxes or whatever. And that's Suncor's a Canadian company.
Yes, Suncor's a big one. What's his name was invested in that company? That really big investor. God, I forgot his name.
I don't know.
Was it George Soros? One of those big guys were actually a big prime shareholders in that company.
I mean, all those guys that you see, these big billionaires and stuff, they're all players in the whole. They all tell each other. That's where you get your inside information at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, like Warren Buffett coming out today, and he was talking about how he's been talking to Bill Gates about certain things going on. Regarding the subject for Mike in the Night. I heard you say that we can't talk about it, but
no, it's not because I don't want to talk about it. It's because it will flag the entire show.
But why? I mean, the mainstream media now is coming out and talking about it.
Well, because they're actually publicly funded by the governments, right?
Right. I mean, it's all about control, Mike, of information. It's stupidity, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm seriously worried. I mean, I went because I have a lowered immune system, right?
Mm-hmm. I know you
from
do.
diabetes. Yeah. So I can't. I've been pretty much self-quarantined for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really leave the house that much unless it's like an emergency. But yeah, and I'm trying to tell people, like especially Canadians. I know that a lot of these Canadians up there, they want to live in these luxurious places and pay all this money on these houses and stuff. But I'm saying you guys should really get look into the van life. There's a lot of Californians that are doing it. It's not just a homeless thing. There's professionals that are on the road, like nurses, and they're just traveling nurses, and all kinds of different fields of work. And the costs are minimal, man. I mean, what do you got to pay for? Even if you went out and financed a van, and you could redo the whole inside of the van very comfortably. And this is like an option for the younger folks, really. The younger what is it, professionals, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get into a house. Don't get into this mortgage market. It's
too expensive.
It's too expensive for one. It's way over regulated. You never own really your house, so you're just really basically renting anyways.
Holy crap, this van looks amazing. I'm looking at this van life. The guy's got cupboards. He's got a mini kitchen in it. He's got a slide out area. He's got all kinds, man. It's fully insulated.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would think that the majority of people with what's coming up, this next housing crash is going to be huge, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just, that's where they tied a lot of this stuff to, the whole GDP, and they tie those bogus numbers in there. They're not real. Even the unemployment numbers aren't real. Nothing they can say to us is the truth. If they just got their mathematics, if the government really wanted to fix things, they would just tell us the real numbers and not try to hide facts.
Well, they would have raised interest rates 2 years ago, 3 years ago, instead of lowering them.
Exactly. But I mean, us people that have really studied, economics and what money really is, and going back in history, it all comes, it'll tell you what the truth is, man. Mm-hmm. That we are living in this illusion, and it's the fact that people give credence to these fiat paper notes and digital credits, and and that's even been that technology has even been implemented into the economic system is a joke, because all that stuff can be manipulated with the click of a mouse,
right,
on a computer somewhere. Just like, I believe that I was watching Bix Weir on his channel. I don't take the dude for everything, but I do believe he has a lot of information on the Federal Reserve and how the U.S. Treasury works.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Mnuchin, we believe, was the guy that was clicking mouses in the Fed basement in New York, slamming the price of gold yesterday.
Keeping it depressed?
Yeah, and especially silver. Silver's, they do not want to let the silver out of the bag, basically.
Well, that's tell people, Lord, explain to people what would happen if silver has a run.
If silver has a run, it's gonna make the what they call the U.S. dollar or the Federal Reserve note even less confident. People are gonna see that it's really worthless, and that's, at the end of the day, it really is. That's what keeps this whole cycle going. Real money they're not going to be able to hold it down. It's like you trying to hold like you ever take a beach ball and try to hold it under a pool?
Mm-hmm.
At some point you lose control, man, and that thing pops.
Right.
It's not them going to do anything. It's the way that natural cycle is going to work, because they can't keep this illusion going on forever. Like, when Nixon took America off of the gold standard
in 1972.
Yeah, we've been running on that bull BS. Just the faith and the faith of the government is going to back it or whatever. But
mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, dude, real money is gold and silver, and that's why every central bank on the planet wants it. That's why they're hoarding it. Because they want to be the guys holding the supply when they try to put whatever next BS system on us. And that's why I can't stand all this technology and digital stuff, because they're basically just tracking you like a lab rat,
mm-hmm.
right? On the playing field of life. Why do these people have control over you?
Yeah, why? When the government should be fearing us, because we're the ones that vote them in.
Right. Well, we don't really vote them in. I mean, I don't believe that. I think they're all selected anyways. Have been for a long time.
We got $2 from the Chronicle in Super Chat. Thank you very much, guys. Here's the Lord Humongous mug. If you guys want to jump in and pick one up, it's $15.91 Canadian. That's like, I think, $10 American. Here it is right here. Gold and silver is real money. Lord Humongous mug. I'm going to order samples. Let me see how this works. Order samples. Let me see what it looks like. And I want to see if I could submit it. Oh, it ships from the U.S. I want to see if I could just ship it right to your doors, Lord. I'm going to find out tomorrow. And I'm going to order you your mug, my mug, a couple of other mugs, and maybe some towels and stuff.
That'd be great, bro.
I would. I've been just really slammed the last couple of weeks. Believe it or not, my business has been doing really well. The business itself as business has been doing well. So,
it should.
Like, not the online business. The online business is always steady. It's this, the store is actually getting really popular. So
Yeah.
I might have to hire somebody, dude.
What do you think about the supply shipments though?
Oh man, we're seeing first-handed breakdown in distribution of product and goods, and this is, I would have never, and I said this on Morning Coffee with Mike. I said this many times. I would never have fathomed in any lifetime that it would be contributed to a pandemic.
Exactly.
Yes, it will happen if there is a pandemic, but I never thought in 2020 that would be like that big.
But Mike, you know what's funny is like last summer, I saw like the major transporters at the time getting hit and slammed hard all last year.
Right, we
like
saw. We even brought it on the show. Peterbilt was losing sales. Freightliner was losing sales. Remember?
Yeah, all trucking across the board. I mean, remember all the trucking companies were going out of business.
Right.
But not only those, they were slamming FedEx and UPS, like two of the major hubs of delivery, at least around the world for a lot of places, and they got slammed. They got slammed. And I was like, wow. And then after that, Raven would start talking about, the rail shipments, they're all slowing down. So who the hell is behind all this is my question,
That's a very good question.
Right, because I mean, these are not just coincidences, my friend.
So we're looking at the Fibonacci view on this, where everything happens for a reason, and it's not by chance this is happening.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's definitely mathematical equations that you can see a lot of stuff that's unseen if you can figure it out.
Mm-hmm. That's how you make bang in the markets.
But I want to talk about how do you feel about Buffalo Bill Gates and his patent on that certain?
I am not surprised whatsoever.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. Nothing
if you
surprises
ever
me. Very hard to be surprised.
If you ever notice, like whenever something big comes out, that guy's got his hand in something, and that guy benefits from something.
Well, he wouldn't be doing something if he wasn't benefiting off it, right?
Well, yeah, but he's been pushing, vaccinations in Africa for a long time. That says a lot to me. Where the guy's putting his money at, I mean, he screwed over Americans a long time ago, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, he did. Yeah. He screwed over Americans actually 3 times, if I recall.
Yeah.
Correctly.
But he, from what I heard, when he started Microsoft Corporation, he stole the code. You know that?
I heard, that was a myth. That was, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that was going around too. Like Scarface used to say, first you get the money, then you get the power, and then you get the women. Yeah,
exactly. Then you get the world, right?
Right. Yeah. Today Miami, tomorrow the world, right? But
that's right. Yeah, I mean it's like all these gangsters that I call them. Yeah. They're all living in that movie Scarface, and they're all trying to control everything and all the people and subjects inside. Oh man, it's crazy.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You never see these people happy. That's the thing.
I don't think they truly are, because they don't know what it is. There's so much joy without money in existence.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people make fun of these people like hippies and stuff, and all these like naturalists and nature people, but those people, they might not have a lot, but they have freedom, man, and they're living outside and they're enjoying life and they're doing their thing, man. There's a lot of credence to that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with the way they think politically. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them are like lefty loonies, but whatever. But even on the right, man, the right has plenty of their lunatics on it too. And that's part of the divide and conquer strategy.
Look, I know you're friends. You're good friends with Hill Dog.
Right? Yeah, we're gonna go to a party. We're gonna go to a party in New Zealand in her bunker when she leaves.
Now, my question is: do you think that I know Bernie won Nevada?
Right.
I didn't I call it a few days before?
Yeah. How does Bernie win Nevada in the first place?
I called it. I knew he was going to win Nevada.
But I mean, that whole state is basically Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you go through the rest of that state, I mean, it's all open pit, man. Ain't no.
You got Reno.
Oh yeah, Reno's on the border of California. You might as well throw that into California.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
do you think? Do you think he's going to win the primaries or what?
I don't know, man. You know what? Like I said before, I'm kind of like Gerald Celente. I'm a political atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just an American, and I see all the corruption, and the corruption comes from everywhere. It comes from all governments, the systems that we've been running on for eons. Yeah, it's all got to come to a head, man. Yeah. It's coming to a head right now. A lot
of investors are scared if Bernie wins the primaries. They're really scared of the whole market crashing.
Well, what are they scared for? They want a communist to win, and I guess a communist is going to win.
That's dangerous.
Of course. Well, Mike, I mean, what I'm trying to tell you is these ideologies from the left, the democratic socialists, all that stuff, these communist ideologies have been pumped in for decades. And they go through the education system, Our whole structure is Soviet based propaganda. They don't want to tell you the truth about what really happened in World War II.
Mm-hmm. Of course,
history's written by the victors. Remember that one? They got this new show called The Hunters that Al Pacino's playing in on I think it's Amazon or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because it's so biased. I mean, it's so ridiculous on some things, but it kind of tells you, if you look past the lines on what really happened in World War I, II, leading up to all this garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about who controls the monetary system at the end of the day. What group, right?
Who was that? Was it Rockefeller? I care not who is in power in the country. Give me the banks.
That was Nathan Rothschild.
Mm-hmm. Give me the banks. I don't care who runs it.
That's what they did. They sent out their central banks during the war. He sent all his sons everywhere. This was after like the Napoleonic War, right?
I remember that, and that was pretty harsh for a lot of people that lost everything.
Yeah, but these people don't care. That's the problem. They want to control it all, and if they can't, then they destroy it all. Mm-hmm. There's no God in these people. These people are soulless. I mean, they're soulless evil. Yeah, to the pits of hell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might be the ruler of the wasteland, but I have a heart and I care about people.
That's right, you do. You truly, wholeheartedly care about people.
I do, man. I care about all these people.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's getting in the backside by their governments and these so-called royals and leaders, and
entitled people, entitled.
Right, exactly. Entitled people.
You should go to Vancouver, Lord, because if you go to Vancouver, everybody there is entitled.
Right, yeah. But you know what? I would. I worked my whole life hard, man. And now I got this disease and it's hard on me.
Yeah.
I lose a lot of I got depression. Mm-hmm. I'm on their medications for that.
Do I contribute to your depression?
No, you actually brighten up my day, bro.
All right. Yeah.
We're all in it for it, man. We're all together, bro. We got to stick as one, all right?
I know. All right, Lord, I'm going to let you go. I need you on Mike in the Night if you can.
All right, I'll try
Because
to
we're
be
going to be brush up on what's happening in the United States side, on stateside when it's coming to this. I heard some stewardess caught it, working on some flight, and then we have all these other people that are in quarantine in New York.
Yeah, she flew into LAX. I just read that too.
So let's brush up on some American side. I'll find out what's happening here in Canada. We'll get somebody down in Australia. We got our guy in Australia who's going to call in the show, and we got another guy from Hong Kong that's going to call in and give us an insight on what's happening there.
All right, sounds good, brother.
God bless you.
God bless. Bye.
Bye. That is Lord Humongous from the just south of Colorado, from the Humongous Wastelands, calling in from south of Denver in Colorado. I'm sorry for butchering your state and city. Okay, so guys, there's a lot going on. I'm really concerned about this. So guys, we're discussing now, like this housing, jobs, finance. There's just too many people that are going to be hit. They're just going to be hit. Average Joe Donuts is going to wake up to a crash course in finance, and whether he likes it or not, he's going to want to know what's happening with the house he bought, what's happening with everything he has. Oh, Christ. Let me wake up here for you guys. We got about 27 minutes left. Let's look at let's get over to, if we can, guys, to the ASX. Australian Stock Exchange is open and it's buzzing right now. Let's see where it's at right now. Market closes in 35 minutes. What is happening? All odds are down 54 points. The Australian Stock ASX is down 52 points. Australian dollar is going strong. I guess it might be because the US dollar is starting to lose steam. Oil is at 48.09. We might see a $47 oil tomorrow. Gold is up 16.51. Lord Humongous just stated that he thinks the floor for gold is 16.50 now, which I believe in 100%. Bitcoin and Australian dollars, I don't know what that is in American dollars. That's like 8,900. I don't know what that is in Bitcoin. 13,000 Australian dollars might be like 9,700, maybe less. I don't know. Australian going strong against the New Zealand dollar. The New Zealand Stock Exchange, the NZX 50, is down 96.69 points. And the FTSE managed to get its head above water, sitting at 7,042. The Dow Jones, again, took a haircut today, down 123 points. And the DAX, sitting at 12,000, it's down 15.61. And the most important one right now I've been following are the Hang Seng, is 176 points down. And the Nikkei 225, obviously, very important one from Japan, very important one to follow, is down 447 points right now, down 2%, 2 whole percent. Everyone's, I guess, gains for the last year is completely wiped in one day. Wow. Okay, 3 days. 3 days of downtrend. So let's take a look at this. Wow. So there, last 5 days of trading in Japan, there's a good chance you could have lost every gain you've made in the last year and a half. Let's look at the last month. Wow. Look at that. Boom. Hit the fan. Now, we've already discussed that Japan has already admitted that it is in a recession. It's been in stagflation for the last, 20 years now. Here it is. There's the peak there in 1989. Nintendo was big. Exports were big. Technology was at its boom. And then, boom, everything just started to fall. Basically, everything started being made in China, and then everything just started to lose ground, and then they started getting into more debt around... Japan started getting into heavy debt around 1996, 97. Japan started getting into heavy debt. And then with them announcing that they're going to build a military a few years back, they haven't had a military since World War II. That also made it hard for Japan as a whole, right? Anthony D has a good one. Imagine buying Bitcoin for a fraction of a penny 10 years ago. Yep. Gold is up right now, guys. Someone's asking in the comments. It's above the $1,650 mark. everyone's going to keep their eye on gold. I'm watching it now. The ASX, the Australian Stock Exchange, is going to close in the next 32 minutes, so I'm keeping an eye on that. So what's going on? So guys, watch out, like in today's show, if you can learn anything or take anything from today's show, careful when you're sending money, wiring money, or organizing your like, guys, please take focus on what you're doing when it comes to your money. There's always someone out there to scam you. Scammers make home hunting hazardous for Bay Area renters. I told you the story about the email the guy sent me where the guy was Airbnb-ing a house for a couple of weeks. And in those couple of weeks he was Airbnb-ing, he actually put the place for rent and ended up renting the place with a contract. And the guy paid first and last month's rent and damage deposit to him and handed him the keys and walked away. The owner came back and said, "What are you moving in your furniture into my apartment? Or there's furniture already in the apartment. What the heck are you doing?" And basically, yeah. Yeah, Anthony D, we got to get him on the show. He's saying, I lost 90% in my crypto investment, got in late and bought a total poop coin and got delisted. Yeah, so Anthony D, you got to come in and tell us, BitConnect! Give us an update on what's happening with that and how you got basically taken for a ride with that. So that you got to be careful, right? A lot of this stuff isn't regulated or federally, provincially, which is fine. We cut out the middleman, and that's the whole point of this cryptocurrency. But the problem is when you have a bunch of guys that you don't know in the shadows who are running this, it makes, well, it's kind of like shadow government too. I guess it's take and give, right? Yes, Mike, you should be a hair model. Yeah, I know, eh? All right, let's see who we can get another we got David Sue on, but I think he's going to bed right now. I'm going to bed right now. Good night, Mike. This is from... Oh, it's from the other day, actually. Wonder if he wants to come on the show. Maybe I'll have him on Mike in the Night. Probably bug him on Mike in the Night. Let me see who else we got here. Who else we got here? So we got 3 Right Games podcast. He's running a Discord on what's happening with the CV virus. So if you guys want to check it out. Yeah. So VIX, tomorrow you're going to see the VIX go up. They mentioned that over there. Somebody, I think it was McChronicle, mentioned it. Guys, keep an eye on the VIX. Guys, always go to Yahoo Finance. Go to Yahoo Finance. It's the best, man. It's the best, man. This is the best. Yahoo Finance is really good. You could even set it up to give you notifications, right? So let's go here. Where's the VIX? VIX. Did I pass it? It should be going up right now. I just type it in here. I think they have it under volatility now. Yeah, here it is. CBO. Yeah, VIX. Yeah, it's at 27. So it did creep up. Tomorrow, this might be going up tomorrow, guys. Add this to your watch list, guys. If you invest in gold and silver, add the VIX, the CBOE volatility index to that, and keep a close eye on VIX, the VIX volatility index. And also, if you see when it peaks here, if you go to the chart, you see you get your peaks here when gold goes up, right? So if we go back historically, we know that gold went up here. We know that gold went up here. And you could even cross-reference it with the price of gold and see what I'm talking about. So VIX has a lot of headway to make. It is right now sitting, it's closed right now, but it's sitting at 27.58, 27.56, sorry. It's saying 56, that's correct. Keep an eye on those two. Always keep your VIX open and keep your price on gold open. Watch the, oh, never mind, it's under volatility. I'm sorry, guys, here it is. I just call it VIX. They used to name it VIX up here, VIX, and I'm sorry. Just go under volatility. It's there. Go under there, and then keep your eye on the gold at the same time. And when gold goes up, you be very sure that your VIX would be going up along with it too, right? So over $190 million in Bitcoin liquidation. The death of the iPhone we might be seeing. Every three rare metals every investor must watch at this critical time. I wonder if it's cobalt and all that other stuff, because I'm invested in that too. February gains disappear as Bitcoin drops below 9 large. So, yeah. Guys, get on Yahoo Finance. Then you can go to yahoofinance.ca and see what's happening in Canada. And then you could see Australia, and you could kind of watch the markets in Australia and see. Yahoo's the best for that, I have to admit. BC Matrix has said he's going to buy me a beer in the comments. Okay, here it goes. Yeah, S&P TSX, we're looking at a 5-day loss. And this is all going to affect the housing. It's going to affect whether you rent, whether you a lot of people think it's not going to affect them, but you'd be very surprised. Okay, here we go. Let's look at it here for the last 5 days. Look at that. Wow. Return to sender. Look at that. Return to sender. That's when the reality started kicking in here with the CV. Once CV reality started kicking in mid-February, boom. Look at that. Right down here. So prices might come down to reality. There it is there for year to date. That's a perfect one right there to see. There's your year to date. We're basically back to January 2018, basically, from the last year. Oh, year to date from this year. Okay, I want to go to the last 1 year. There we go. So we are back to pretty much September 16, 2019 area, like kind of territory here, from what I'm seeing here. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Too much fake gains. Oil is very important. Oh, oil's in the $48. It's going to go to 47. Oil's taking a big kick in the pants too. Let's look at the max here. Year to date. There it is. Yeah, oil. The petrodollar, U.S. petrodollar can't survive on a $48 barrel of oil. We've discussed this many times already. So that's another one to look at, guys, oil. Shorten Canadian banks. 13-month low, oil slump. Guys, how much you want to bet that they're going to make it, like, you know how in Canada they made it, you were unable to short stocks of a certain nature that I can't mention the word here on the show because they'll flag my video. Now, how much you want to bet they're going to make it, they're not going to allow Canadians to short Canadian banks? I have a feeling they'll do that because they already did it to one commodity that you're not allowed to short in Canada. Does anyone know in the comments? Anyone in the comments know what commodity we're not form of tobacco we're not allowed to short in Canada? And yeah, we're not allowed to, apparently. I tried to, actually. They wouldn't let me short it. So I'm going to be I've been shorting, I already shorted the Canadian dollar twice and I did okay. And I shorted a few Canadian banks. So I think Canadian banks are gonna take a good kick in the pants. Too much. If you look at the Canadian dollar is below 74 cents right now. Canadian dollar, it looks like to me that the American dollar is picking up steam. Let's go back to the Australian dollar. Australian dollar should be down too. I think the Australian dollar just dropped. No, it's still sitting steady at 65. Oh, it did drop. Sorry, it just did drop from where it was. It did drop a few. Yeah, it just went down. Like, not much, but it did go down a bit. Yeah. It's still in plus 0.00007, 0.006. It's going to go down. Canadian dollar's taking a beating right now, too. Canadian dollar's taking a beating itself, so there it is here. No, that's the VIX. No, that's crude oil. There it is. Canadian dollar is below the 74-cent mark. Markets are going to be interesting to see tomorrow. Yeah, guys, please don't forget to join me on Mike of the Night. I promise you guys, we will be covering this whole sickness that's going on, and we'll get in callers. We got one lined up from Australia. We got one guy calling in from New Zealand that is actually working in the health sector to discuss what's happening in their end. They want to remain anonymous. We also got someone that wants to call in from someone wants to call in from Russia that wants to call in and discuss oil and other stuff. So yeah. Yeah, McChronicle's like, I can't sleep. I'm so excited for the market open tomorrow. I am too. I'm just watching the Australian one for tomorrow. I mean, for right now, because it's still open, for 23 minutes, right? So gold is still, it's up $9 now. It's at 1652. I think gold's found its floor at 1650. I think Lord Humongous is right. I thought it was 1630, kind of. I thought we were going to see a 1600 gold in 2020. I did not expect all this stuff to hit the fan so quick. Oh, good. We got Bob Often in the house. We got Steve the Plumber. Steve, can you come on the show for us? You have a lot of fans out there that like you a lot. Well, Real German Instincts. We'll have him on Mike in the Night too, and he'll be. Water bottles sold out in Nevada, United States of America. So if you're living in the state of Nevada, water bottles are sold out in Costco, at the Costco. We're going to hopefully have the Raven on the show too, because he's been keeping me up to date on what he's been doing for prepping and preparing for this. And, wait, Supreme Cannon, I wonder if he's in the comments. Wait, Steve the Plumber is saying, okay, I'll call in. Good. STP's going to call in. Give me 10 minutes or less. Okay, hurry up, Steve. Yeah, we need some STP. Steve, you're just a plumber, a dumb plumber, no pressure. You get it? Pressure, plumbing, plusher, low pressure. I don't know if he intended with that pun. Wow, we got 145 people watching. Wow. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in and being part of the show. While we wait for Steve, guys, don't forget to go ahead and support the show. There's many ways. You could share a video. If you could share a video, I'd appreciate that. Join the channel. We got lots of cool stuff that I throw up here all the time. So biggest stories in housing, liberals to the rescue to start helping owners with strata fees. What the heck? When I saw that, we got, what else do we got here? Australian interest-only mortgages are going to sting. We got Bank of Canada to implement digital currency. That's on their agenda now. Remember, when they speak about it, what happens? It comes back in discussion, and what happens? It gets written, and then gets put into law. And then we got the end of the tar sands. Bank must go digital, says Bank of England. The condition of the Canadian stock market is the second worst next to Venezuela. And this is trends in the housing market that people are watching right now. And Auckland rental. Oh, I love this one. No kitchen. The guy wants $450 a week with no kitchen for a rental room. And stock market meltdown. Stock market meltdown. Metals up, oil down. And then we got what $2.87 million gets you in Sydney. Wow. $2.87 million. Here, I'll show you what you get in Sydney for that. Not that. That's like $1 million in America. You get this here for $2.87 million. It's attached to two other properties, so it's that little slither in the middle. And the guy bought it, I think, for $26 or 80, under 100 pounds sterling back in the day. So he bought that. So that's 2.87 million Australian dollars, which is 1.78 million American dollars. So that is basically a couple of things that you guys can look at on the channel. Man, and if you guys can, go ahead here and join the channel for $1.99 a month to support my $446 electricity bill. And you could also reach me, guys, on Facebook. I'll give you guys my Facebook. If you guys want to jump on Facebook and add me or follow me or send me messages. I get on average 10 to 50 messages per day of links and stuff that people would like for me to read. And don't forget to pick up your Lord Humongous mug. He was on the show earlier. If you want to pick up his mug, gold and silver is real money. And if you guys want to pick up a Lord Humongous mug, go ahead and do that. And Instagram, here, I'll give you my Instagram too. People do message me on there, so if you want to see my ugly hair or my ugly face, go ahead on Instagram. And you could always send me a tip on PayPal. If you guys want to shoot me a couple of nickels on PayPal, go ahead and do that. A couple of shekels on PayPal, go ahead and do that. Don't forget to prep and enjoy the show when the STHI hits the fan. That's Globetrotter Mike. We got to get Globetrotter Mike. Guys, on Mike in the Night, if you're commenting on the comments, you have to call in. Everybody needs to call in and tell us their story, whether it's on Mike in the Night, whether it's the CV thing that's breaking out. CV is going to be going on for a good while because now we're getting truths. We're getting truths with CV. Cerveza. We're getting the truths are coming out now that other countries are being plagued with what's happening. So we're going to actually focus on that full stop, for the next incoming couple of Mike in the Nights. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to cancel my trip. I got to call the airlines, cancel my trip to the Philippines. I'm very disheartened. I really wanted to go to Southeast Asia and meet my my father-in-law, mother-in-law, and nephews and stuff. I really had my heart set to go to this, and I'm very upset, that's not going to go through. And then now they won't even refund me, the Filipino Airlines. It's like, it's not that I'm changing my mind. It's that I'm not going to take 3 babies to the Southeast Asia where they barely have enough hospitals to take care of you know what I'm saying? So Globetrotter Mike has confirmed that we'll talk on Saturday. And Eamon went out. I went out with my friend Eamon the other day, and we had a Dairy Queen mint milkshake. Really good, man. But I gotta watch what I eat because I'm fasting, and I'm making sure that I keep within my limits, right? So Buddy is saying my friend is leaving for the Philippines tomorrow. Guys, I don't even trust the planes, man. It's not that I don't trust the country. It's mainly the planes, man. The plane bus. So there's lots going on with interest rates only in happening in interest rate mortgages are going to terms in Australia. They're going from interest only to terms. There's a couple of 100,000 mortgages every year that are going to be released and that have to come up with basically payments to pay down their principal. You can't go interest only forever. It's a drag on the economy. Piasso saying, it's okay, Mike. Everyone's a nurse in the Philippines. That's actually a good. My wife was a caregiver for many years, nursing in Taiwan. Somebody asked me if I would fly private. I don't think I could afford that. To the Philippines, I could fly private to Vancouver, charter a plane here for I think it's $300. But to fly to the Philippines, no way, man. That would cost me $13,000, maybe $20,000 to fly to the Philippines private. All right, this is our man, Stiva. Yo, what's up, dog? Steve, you there, buddy? Steve? Steph? He ain't talking, people. Let me call him back. Something's wrong with his Skype. It's saying I missed a call from him.
Hello?
Hey, Stevie, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Mike?
Nada. So, okay, let's start off from the beginning of the show. We got Interest in Australia, homes are going to go from interest-only mortgages back to principal payments. People are looking from $200 to $800 a month extra in their monthly mortgage payment. That's going to kill the Australian housing market right there.
Yeah. So what that's actually going to do is it's just going to cause a mean reversion and ultimately a pancake collapse with respect to a large portion of the market. I don't know how bad their underwriting has gotten, or how stringent it is for that fact. However, I guess all percent of the market to kind of sort of say, sorry, we just can't afford this. Enough's enough. And then it's good night, Irene.
Yeah, Katie barred the door. Okay, so we got about 300 mortgages coming up for renewal in 2020, 300,000, and we got about 430,000 next year.
Yep.
So that's another issue for Australia. And with the CV going on, the CV kicking in, the cerveza virus is kicking in, and that's becoming a huge issue too. But Australia's passing it off like there's nothing going on, nothing to see here.
Right. Yeah. Well, Australia has got no choice to do that, simply due to the fact that 1 ounce of panic sets in. It's just going to intensify everything, will it not?
Well, yeah, it's going to add hysteria, and then the markets will start to crash. And right now, the markets aren't doing too well. I don't know if you've been watching the markets the last 6 days.
Yeah. It's definitely hasn't been very good. That's for sure.
Yeah. So now, what is happening? I wanted to save this question for now because I want to ask you this because we might be on the topic. We might talk about this for quite a bit. Condo owners asking for help from the federal government to help them with their condo strata fees?
Well, I mean, as owners, then it's going to be semi-detached and detached owners. I mean, there's obviously some underlying issues here with affordability, and strata fees have gone through the roof. Insurance has gone up substantially. Many buildings are getting special assessed within the first 3 to 5 years after that nonprofit corporation, the Condo Corp, is formed because they don't have enough in their reserve fund. Mm-hmm. And that's how these condos work. If you don't have enough in your reserve fund, as outlined by the province of where the condo is basically located geographically, the actual province will step in.
So what did they become? Did they provincialize the strata fees, or did they provincialize the insurance? What happens?
Well, the moment you go ahead and I guess bring the government into any form of insurance, and have to be very careful because Bob Ray tried to do this. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember this, Mike. You were living in the province when they tried to do this. Mm-hmm. In Ontario, he got elected in on the basis that they were going to go ahead and make car insurance and home insurance a government-funded situation, mm-hmm. Like BC and Montreal does, so on and so forth. So he got elected, and then finally, he was about to do it. He said, no, I can't do this, because as soon as I do this, there's going to be mass unemployment, because there's such a racketeer that goes on in the province of Ontario with respect to the insurance aspect of things, mm-hmm. From home and auto. There'd be so many jobs just, vaporized in a matter of minutes if mm-hmm. he actually went ahead and did that.
Interesting. I remember that. I remember Bob Ray and his empty promises, but it was kind of good that he kind of backed off on that, because that would have kind of crippled a lot of Ontario workers. Because remember, we were transitioning towards service industry at that time, and construction and all that other stuff. Like actual work and production and factories were closing down, right?
Right.
So yep. Look at all the serviceness we got, and all our apologies and apologizing for everything and being sorry for everything got Canada.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gary Medeiros put up shared an article today on his Facebook that
Who the hell is Gary Medeiros?
so there's an article he shared today, and it said this: Canada now is starting to realize that there's laundered more laundered money than they expected through real estate. It's like, did they just find this out now? We've been talking about this on this channel for the last 3 years.
Yeah, no. What's happening here is this game being blown open, and I'm not sure if have you been watching any of the BC or the BC inquiry to money laundering.
I've kind of fallen off the path because they're not getting anywhere with it. The RCMP is no longer taking it over. They're trying to get it in a way where I think they're trying to set it up in a way where no one gets indicted.
Well, there might be some truth to that, my friend, but I think at the end of the day, we have to look at the big picture and realize that. And I had this conversation with a couple of people from a mortgage lending standpoint, from a banking standpoint, and an economist as well, and they all had to agree with me. And it was the first time that those three people that I know very, very well have agreed with what I said. Mm-hmm. And it ties into what you've said in terms of money laundering. If it didn't exist, the economy, we'd be done. The situation is the reason why house prices are where they are today is not because of organized real estate. Organized real estate did play a good factor into that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is the Canadian proper could only afford so much. So if you don't have outside influences coming in and laundering money, so on and so forth, and skipping the line and, cheating the system, so to speak, our house prices would be half of what they are today. Because it defines all
half, Steve, because wages are nowhere near even half.
Okay, there you go. I don't want to scare anybody.
But average, but what it's scary when an average wage earner can't even afford rent anymore. Minimum wage is not a career. In high school and grade school, when we were in high school, the teachers would tell us, do you want to flip burgers for the rest of your life? I don't think teachers can say that to the kids anymore because now that's a career now. Now that minimum wages become career jobs, they're being replaced by robots. And then you got average wage earners who are having a really tough time, like teachers and stuff that earn average wages that can't even rent.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think about it. So anyways, getting back to you're absolutely right. Getting back to what I'm saying there is, if all of this comes into play where they start clamping down on money laundering and everything else, you can forget about this this CV virus, the coronavirus and everything else. We won't even. That'll be nothing compared to if they start removing, even if they removed 30% of the money laundering. 30%, okay? That's how much influence it has on the market. If 30% of the laundered money was either discontinued, in other words, it stopped flowing in, and then 30% of the money laundered assets were seized by the RCMP, Attorney General of Canada, Finance, Finance Canada, if you will, and call it anybody who wants. Any one of the watchdogs came into play and flexed their muscles and took 30% of it. You'd immediately see house prices start to come down like a ton of bricks. Because all of a sudden, there's going to be a 30% increase in inventory. I kid you not, 30%, Mike.
Well,
if you
what
took 30%
does
away
the province do? What there was a county in California. I forgot what county it was in California, and what they did was anybody that breaks the law with drugs or guns and all kinds of stuff, they would be they would lose their property and they would lose their vehicles. And what the county did was they actually auctioned it off to a family to buy the home and the car, not to a bidder or anything. And the money that was made went into affordable housing. They did that in the early 80s, actually, when they were doing lots of search and seizure back in the early 80s in California.
Okay.
That would work greatly because then they could auction it off to a family, to an actual family in the community, or you have to have been living in Canada for 15 years to be able to bid on, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? and
Right.
and it would go to a family that really needs it the most, type of thing. They will look after that, right, and give it to somebody that really needs it, and then the money that was raised by the county or the municipality would go back to either affordable housing or even creating jobs or putting money in the hands of workers so that we could get the economy kind of, you know what I'm saying, right? Thriving again.
Yep. Oh, for sure. Yeah. So, what were we talking about besides laundered money? What else did you want to ask me, Mike?
What's happening like in Spain, and in where was it? France. You know, they got these, daily riots and all kinds of crap going on. A lot of people have taken it upon themselves to move into I had an email from a man named Manuel from Spain. On his street, 3 people moved into investor homes that have been sitting empty for like 3 years that are owned by foreign investors, and they changed the locks, turned on the electricity, the power, and they've been living there now 3-4 months with no problems. Because I'm pretty sure when he called the electricity company to turn on the power of the house, I don't think they ask if you stole the house, right?
No, they'll just ask you if you're a tenant or you own the place. So where did this happen, Mike?
It's happening in Spain, and there was an article about it, and then been happening in France now for the last year. People in France are fed up with the empty homes and vacant homes. They put a foreign buyer's tax, but a lot of people have just been going into homes and then just getting the locks changed and hooking up the hookups, the water and the gas that wasn't hooked up and everything.
I think it would be fantastic if one of those countries, maybe Spain or France, wherever this is happening, if they did have squatters' rights.
No,
that
I don't
would
think
be
you're squatting.
absolutely
Squatting
insane.
means you're in there, you trash the place, you poop on the floor, and you go. This is different. They're actually paying the property tax. They're going to the bank and say, "I own this property now." Long story or whatever. I don't know what's happening with all the mishaps that's happening with the daily riots and the daily tire burning or whatever. That they're just, okay, all right, you live here. Here's your address, and then you start getting mail sent to that address, right?
Right.
Then once you start getting mail to that address, you go and change your driver's license, and then you start changing this. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
No, I understand exactly what you're saying.
So I don't think that's squatting, because they're openly hooking up their cable and water and gas and,
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that's pretty insane. I would love to see that happen here. I mean, that wouldn't go down here at all. But I guess it could. It all depends on how things play out. I think we may actually see some riots in the street shortly, depending on how things go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that people really truly understand how bad and how potent this virus is. I know that many small, medium, large-sized business owners are ill-prepared. They haven't taken into consideration many things. If you want, I can go into that, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
But
Saturday night's Mike in the Night. We're gonna be doing CV because I don't want to get my show flagged, right?
yeah, I hear you. I understand
Saturday
completely.
night we can go all out, all no holds bars without minus the swearing on Saturdays, and we can talk about whatever you guys want, right? But the CV virus is front and center right now. Most important thing that's happening, right? So I think that's very important that we covered that on Mike in the Night, because we're going to get people calling in from everywhere. But yeah, like you said, people are ill prepared. And I think you had this discussion with Gary Medeiros the other day where you said, I think it was you or the McChronicle. It was Gary Medeiros, where you discussed if Canada survives this whole CV thing and the CV virus, if they survive this, then there's nothing will stop the Canadian housing market. And I believe what's going to happen is they're going to go into negative interest rates and they're going to start punishing savers.
Okay. So yeah, I did have a conversation with Gary, and that's his outlook on the situation, and he's not wrong. If certain things don't happen and things just continue to go up and up and up, and people just ignore this, and furthermore, they I mean, they're going to have to find some sort of a cure real quick, real fast, which I doubt they'll have, because we don't even have proper testing.
They don't even know what they're dealing with, SA.
No, they don't. It's a fart in a windstorm right now. So at this point, Gary's absolutely right. The economy is starting to shift, and the cracks are forming. They're alive, they're well, and they're going to run deep. Imagine this for a second. Your employer tells you, okay, that his suppliers are no longer able to ship product. Therefore, until that such time, you are no longer required at his place of business. Just look at that for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Imagine.
Well, then Buddy can't pay his rent or his mortgage, and if he's renting, it's going to be worse because the landlord can't cover the negative loss on the rent because no one could afford to rent at that price because he took a hefty mortgage on the property.
Absolutely. So there's so many moving factors. There's so many moving parts here. And regrettably, this is going to be catastrophic. If everything plays out the way that it is and people have to bunker down, and I mean, there are people on your show that I've spoken to, and they are ready to lock their doors and stay inside for an entire month, 2 months, whatever it takes.
Oh, me too. I'll just shut my store down, set the alarm, get the cameras. My cameras are online. I can watch them from my phone, and that's it, man. I'm ready to shut down for 2 months if I have to, 3 months if need be.
Yep. So, I personally, I think in the next week or two, people are going to start to stock up. There's going to be a shift in momentum, a shift in mindset, and people are going to start to stock up. If they're smart, they will do that. We've been lied to. We've been told that, the rate of infection in terms of multiplying was only 4. Well, it turns out that it's actually 7.
Well, no, it turns out that they've underestimated by 52 times. If you watch my video from today,
I have not done that yet.
Yeah, they've underestimated it by 52 times.
Yeah,
in China,
we're missing one. We're missing one important factor, and I'll bring this up in Mike on the Night. China's communist, so basically, if you didn't abide by the rules and you did not stay inside and you didn't do this and you didn't do that, obviously their laws and the way that they run their country as a communist country are very, very, very strict, and obviously there are going to be significant repercussions, and that is actually a blessing in disguise. Imagine if this was another country that was not where it originated was not actually communist. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Trudeau. I'm not staying in my house. Who do you think you are? Mm-hmm. And, people just carried onwards and upwards. Imagine how bad it would have spread. Think about that for a second. If China was not communist, imagine where things would be at. Things would be absolutely insane right now.
Oh yeah, the markets would be having a freak show right now. It'd be a total freak show in the markets, and I think they would have halted trading. They would halt trading, like close down trading, so people don't sell off the markets, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, now we're in a situation where they've tried to contain it as much as they can, and at this point they did what they could. And now we're actually finding out exactly how bad this is getting. And we also don't know how aggressive this is going to get in terms of the momentum of the virus, because the virus is intensifying. It's not, the strains are not dying off. They're intensifying. So
yeah, it's not like a hurricane when it hits land and starts to die, right? This virus, sometimes some viruses, they start to weaken off as the hosts pass on to other hosts. Sometimes what happens is it starts to weaken itself and becomes, the common cold, right? But the problem is it's not, and this is the problem. And now with incinerators coming in, I think this Saturday we're going to have more things unfold for Mike in the Night. I think it's going to be an incredible show this Saturday, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Shifting back to housing, we have a situation here where, things are continuing to go up. People are buying on the basis that the economy is doing well. They're ignoring many things. Banks are lending. I honestly think that 20 to 30 basis point increase in buyer availability in terms of the ability to qualify underneath the new stress test situation is, have it's got people thinking, maybe I should buy, this is just how it's going to be. The bank said yes. And we're just going to move onwards and upwards. So there is a lot of fear of missing out. There's a lot of people that have just said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to buy. I can't wait any longer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're running into a situation where those people are going to be caught. I just hope that they have a significant amount of down payment so that they still have some equity when things kind of come to fruition even further.
Yeah.
This is going to be a correction that doesn't just last 6 months to a year. This will take 2 to 3 years to wind down. We've seen a small... Go ahead.
Let me just throw in real quick, guys. The Australian market closed 9 minutes ago. It's adjusting right now as we speak. All ORs are down 53.40. The ASX 200 is down 50 points. Australian to US dollar, it looks like the American dollar is weakening. The Australian dollar has gone up. It's still at 0.65 cents to the dollar. Oil is down at 47.92 per barrel. We were seeing a $48 oil a few minutes ago before the market closed in Australia. Gold is up $10.40 above the 1650 mark. We're sitting at 1653, and it still hasn't fully corrected. Bitcoin, who cares? Australian to euro, who cares? The New Zealand Stock Exchange 50 is down 96 points. And the Nikkei 225 is down 509 points in Japan. So we're seeing down markets all day, over day, over day, over day.
There you go. You there, Mike?
Continue. I'm here. Continue.
Yeah. So, at this point, you got to cancel your trip. Even if you don't cancel it, the situation is, if they're going to charge, I was just thinking this, that you probably shouldn't cancel it. If they're going to charge you anyways, just wait until they actually cancel it for you. Because I doubt that they're going to allow that plane to take off.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's the Filipino Airlines. They can't lose money.
Well, that's true. But if the plane is not allowed to leave, the actual airport, then the airline has no, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They have no choice but to kind of capitulate there. I know right now there is Air Canada has just basically scrapped all flights till about, I think it's April 10th to China. Mm-hmm. And I spoke to a friend of mine who flies for Air Canada, and he had said that they will be announcing, more than likely, they will be chopping all flights to and from Iran.
Okay. All right, that's a good update on that. So, Steve, brush up on a little bit of what's happening with CV. Let's get up to date over the next couple of days for Saturday night. We'll do Mike in the Night, and then we could go from there and actually kind of maybe predict where things are going to happen for the next week, because it's going to be a very interesting topic to cover this Saturday because of the amount of countries that nobody would ever imagine are on the list now is not looking good.
No, you're absolutely right. I think I think this is going to be one wild ride, and it's going to affect. It already has started to affect the economy.
Big time.
People. It's just look at the futures and stuff like that. Things aren't good. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing futures, down, 400 or 500 points.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I'm going to predict here that the market's going to open tomorrow like 400 points down. The Dow is going to be 400 points before the market even opens.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go to sleep, but I know that the McConaughey is basically going to stay up and just do cartwheels. And then I'll call him in the morning for the 411. But he's a funny guy. Love that guy. Mm-hmm. But as a whole, it should be interesting. If there isn't anything else, Mike, I should let you go.
Yeah, you take care. Have a good night. It's midnight there. Get some rest, and call me like you normally do through the week, and we'll talk.
I've been trying, Mike, but you haven't been around. I've tried your cell.
You did?
Yeah, unless you changed your
No,
cell phone.
you know what? I have someone else telling me the exact same thing. I'm not getting calls. Somebody else told me the exact same thing the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to the phone just where I got the phone and ask them what's going on with this service because I'm paying the bill every month. It's auto payment on my credit card, so I'm gonna look into that then.
Absolutely. Good to be with you, Mike. Take care.
God
Have a
bless.
good night.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye.
So we're gonna have a big Mike in the Night this Saturday at 9 p.m. I might do a pre-show, guys. Might, like I did tonight, a little bit of a pre-show and stream a bit earlier. I know a lot of people. Guys, get on the channel if you can and go on the channel. If you can, go here. You could go to my channel, and then I have shows that are pre-happening. That you could go. It's gonna show up on your thing where you could actually go to it and then subscribe to watch the show and get a notification. Now, when it goes live, you guys could see that. And I'd appreciate that if you guys could do that so we know what's going on here and get the full front. Make sure everybody comes on the show. We're going to have open lines. We have already a few scheduled callers from Australia, New Zealand, Toronto, and then Steve from the GTA. And then we got... who else? And we're going to have a lot of people. We're going to have Humongous come on. We're going to have, what's his name? Supreme Cannon's been brushing up. Three Right Games podcast. Can you put the link to the Discord that you're on there so we could... yeah, someone's asking me if I should put the live stream to watch overnight. Why not? But the numbers are not accurate, guys. The numbers aren't real. If the numbers were real and they're accurate, we're up to date, and we're getting the right numbers, I would put that up, the John Hopkins thing. There's no point. We're not getting any of the numbers we need to get. They're not telling us what we need to. You think they're honestly going to tell us what we need to know? We don't even know what the hell's happening in our own housing market. And we're going to know what's happening with this? Woo! Anyways, guys, trends in the housing market. Another great, successful episode, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming in, joining. Go to the channel and share a video. I don't give a crap. Oh, somebody in Alaska, what they've been doing for me is they go to my channel, they go to a playlist. This is what they do. They go to Rants and Lifestyle. It has 2,400 videos. They click play all, and they go to work for 3 days, working on some oil something. And they come back, it's playing. And they've been doing that for me. For my AdSense. They go, oh yeah, my internet's included, and I only pay like $20 for electricity with my computer on anyway. So if you could do that, go into like one of these big playlists that I have. This Rants and Lifestyle Morning Coffee with Mike is 129 videos, but Mike in the Night's 56 videos of long videos. So if you could go in there and let it play for me while you guys are out and about, and if it's not going to cost you anything, I would really super duper appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So that would make me very happy if you could do that for me, and then create a bit of revenue for the channel. Anyways, guys, lots of love. Thanks for watching, and go into what do we got here? Mike in the Night, the new generation. I'm gonna leave this here for you guys to see. There's the Mike in the Night new generation here from Supreme Cannon was on the show. We have tons of shows going back here. I'll leave a link to the play all for the Mike in the Night if you guys want to watch that. A lot of people say they want to watch more Mike in the Night. Well, here it is. Lots of episodes for you guys to watch. And tomorrow we might have our live chat up tomorrow on the channel. We'll have some sound effects playing with the chat going for 12, 16 hours long. And we could discuss what's happening via chat. All right? Thanks, guys. Have a good night. God bless. And stay safe, okay?